Amanda J. Gentry live today from Sunny's. That's right, out here in Germantown, where it's starting to rain a little bit, but it doesn't matter because we're inside. It is wonderful. It is temperature controlled. We love this place. It is right by Nissan Stadium, which is about to be invaded by tons of Cowboy fans. And normally one of my big pitches about Sunny's is that they got all the games on in here, but tonight is a standalone Thursday night football game in which the Titans are essentially playing a preseason game today. And so we'll get into that. But first and foremost, and again, Sunny's, we love them. They got Thursday night specials. They got football specials, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sundays during the game. And this weekend, they'll have all the games on all the TVs here for Week 17. First off, it was just announced on our station, Caroline Fenton is leaving the program effective tomorrow.
Not going too far.
She will be doing the midday show. Caroline, congratulations.
Thank you.
We are so happy for you around here, both Ian and I.
Thank you.
Let me start with this, though.
Oh, boy.
Noticed everybody's doing 3-hour
Okay.
shows now, and I just, apparently Stillman and Company
Yep.
still going to be a 4-hour show. And I'm just
I didn't ask for a 3-hour show. But thank you. I mean, you and Ian have taught me more than I ever could have imagined, and it's because of you two that I'm ready to take this next step.
So I do not have the ability right now to get into all of the heart warm felt feelings about this right now,
We can do it later.
because we will do this later, because right now we got a quarterback situation here with the Tennessee Titans. Josh Dobbs is in and Malik Willis is out. It's being reported by everybody, and I know this to be true. Josh Dobbs is starting tonight for the Tennessee Titans at quarterback. Now, there's about 4 different reasons that this could be happening. The number one reason, which I think is probably the truth, is the Titans realized after the last Texans game that if they wanted to beat the Jacksonville Jags in Week 18, they could not do it with Malik Willis as their quarterback. That there was no way that they could beat Jacksonville with Malik. That he is so bad, and he is so bad that they could not put him out there in Week 18 and have any chance to win. Now, I think they probably know that long-term, this is basically pulling the plug on the Malik Willis experiment. But I think they've seen enough to make that decision and not worry about the long-term ramifications, because I don't think they see Malik as a long-term thing. The second reason they could be doing this is because they're going to give Dobbs a chance to prove that he's better than Malik and then decide who to start going into Jacksonville. The third reason they could be doing this is because they could just flat out be resting Malik Willis, saying, hey, if Derrick Henry's not going to play and if nobody's on defense is going to play, then let's take Malik out too so he doesn't get hurt and then play Malik week 18 against Jacksonville.
Do you believe that?
I'm just listing all the possibilities out there. Let's go around the room. Why do we think the Titans have made the move? Josh Dobbs in, Malik Willis out.
I think that they've seen enough of Malik Willis. Because if they were trying to say, I understand the idea of let's put Josh Dobbs in and see which quarterback gives us the best opportunity to win in Week 18, the game that really matters. But wouldn't they know? Wouldn't they know which quarterback gives them the best opportunity to win in Week 18?
Well, they don't know that about Dobbs, though.
But they just picked off Josh Dobbs off the sidewalk. He wouldn't be just available up for picking in Week 17 if he really was, a great quarterback that did, in fact, give you the best opportunity to win. No other team in the league thought that. So why would the Titans say, let's look and see what we have in this practice squad quarterback who's thrown for, I think, less than 50 passing yards in his 4 or 5 year NFL career? Unless they really, truly didn't know which quarterback gave them a better opportunity. Their 3rd-round pick or some guy off the streets.
So you think that this is a tryout for Josh Dobbs today?
Yes. I think that this is the Titans saying, we can't go forward with Malik.
So are they pulling the plug on Malik, or is there a possibility that Malik is going to start Week 18? See, so you're kind of in the middle because you're giving me the number 2 scenario. The number 1 scenario.
No, I'm saying I don't believe in the number 2 scenario.
So you don't believe that this is to see if Dobbs could be better than Malik and go with Dobbs and almost make Dobbs win the job for Week 18?
No, because why would they do that if they weren't confident in Malik? Because what team says, okay, look, we're really confident in our backup quarterback. We really like what he can do. But let's test out and see what this practice squad quarterback can do to see which one is better. No teams do that if you really, truly believe in your quarterback.
I don't think they do that.
No.
Especially given the fact that Malik needs experience.
Yes.
Now, I mean, I don't think he's going to do anything with that experience. I mean, I looked it up today. If Malik qualified with the amount of and he'd have to throw a lot more passes to technically qualify for this honor, his quarterback rating would be the worst this century of a rookie quarterback. That 42, that would be the worst this century. Ryan Leaf was like 39 in 98. Now, if you go back to like the 70s and stuff, back when they ran the ball.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot different. Like Terry Bradshaw had a lower quarterback rating, and Steve DeBerg had a lower quarterback rating, and there was another, Joe Namath had a lower quarterback rating, but we're not in the Joe Namath days anymore. So that's how bad Malik Willis has been. I think the Titans, I came on the show on Monday when everybody was off on Christmas, and I said on Monday that I was done with Malik, that I was going to play Malik in this game with no hope for him, and I was going to tell Josh Dobbs and Todd Downing and Pat O'Hara, and I was going to say, guys, like, he is the starter in Week 18 against the Jags. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. He's starting. And that I was done. Like, I know that if you pull this plug on Malik, you are saying to Malik, we don't think you're in our future plans. And I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. But I wonder if the boo-hooers in the text line and all those people and all the people that have called in about how great Malik is and this, that, the, I wonder now if they're really upset about this. All the people that were like, Malik doesn't have an offensive coordinator, Malik doesn't have an offensive line, Malik doesn't have a wide receivers.
Well, those people probably think that the Titans are doing with Malik Willis what they're doing with Jeffrey Simmons or Derrick Henry, and that is sit all your starters, make sure they're healthy, make sure they're 100%. Don't risk them getting hurt for that Week 18 game because Malik will be back.
Does anybody think that?
Well, the people that I think really believe in Malik and want to see more from Malik will probably convince themselves of that. I don't believe that.
I'm telling you right now, maybe it's because I hope maybe these are my feelings, and these aren't their feelings. I think they're giving up on Malik, and I think they should give up on Malik because I think Josh Dobbs gives them a better chance to win, and I don't think Malik is ever going to be good enough to give the Tennessee Titans a chance, ever.
You think that Josh Dobbs gives them a better chance to win? Have you ever seen Josh Dobbs in the league?
I have seen Josh Dobbs play in the preseason, and I have seen Malik play in the preseason. and I'll give you an example of this. Like, I think with a lot of times in life, you know, it's hard to decide, okay, who's the better starting quarterback between, you know, this starter and that starter? Like, who's the better starting quarterback between Justin Herbert and between Lamar Jackson? I mean, on some days it could be Jackson, and on some days it could be Herbert.
You could have the debate either way.
And in the NFL, the talent is it's so close that it's very hard to just look at it and say, okay, I've seen, you know, right here, right there. When I was at training camp, the Titans scrimmaged the Arizona Cardinals, and I watched Trace McSorley, the third stringer, and then I watched Malik. And Trace McSorley, like, it was not even a debate for me who the better quarterback was. And it was McSorley. And I much rather have Trace McSorley than Malik Willis. And Trace McSorley is a lot like Josh Dobbs in the sense that he was really the number 3 all season. Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray was the number 1. Colt McCoy was the number 2. McSorley was on the practice squad. Then Kyler got hurt. Then they brought him up. Then McSorley became the starter when McCoy got hurt. And that's what Josh Dobbs is. And again, in that one practice I stood there, I was like, this is not even close between these two guys. And I was screaming during training camp, and I was screaming during the regular season. I'm like, get a real backup quarterback in here. And I don't think Dobbs is like a real backup, but I put him in the same class as McSorley. And I know that McSorley is so much better than Malik Willis that I'm in favor of this move. And I kind of, my bigger takeaway from this is, what took you so long? Like, if you're the Titans, like, when did Vrabel realize that Malik Willis couldn't be the backup quarterback of this football team? And what took him so long? And so, other than that, I do wonder, you know, I kept saying this at training camp. Malik was so bad that I don't know quarterbacks. Like, I'm not a quarterback guru. I'm not a football guy like those football guys. And so I couldn't like look at Malik and say, okay, this is terrible now, but he'll become good. I don't know how to do that. And so there was no way for me to say it, to stand there and say like, hey, this guy stinks right now, but he'll ultimately be good. But yet there's no progression in Malik's game. And so at some point the Titans are just as guilty about Malik's terribleness as Malik is. But I mean, I keep wondering why did we have to watch Malik Willis play quarterback against the Chiefs earlier this year? Like, was that a John Robinson thing? Was that I don't know, but it's obvious to me that Vrabel is throwing up the flag on Malik's career and is saying, we're not interested anymore.
But if the Titans do give up on Malik Willis, if that is what this move of starting Josh Dobbs is tonight, I think that's so unfair from Malik Willis because he had no business being the backup quarterback this year anyway.
NFL ain't fair.
I know that, but he had no business being the backup quarterback. And that goes back to a decision that they made in August.
I mean, that was, as I said all along, the reason why the Titans are where they are right now, it's not that they traded A.J. Brown. And I know a lot of people want to make it about that. It is not that they traded A.J. Brown. Because if they had a team without a left tackle, without a left guard, without a center, without a right guard, and without a right tackle, and without a receiver outside of A.J., and without a real tight end, and without their inside linebackers, and without their outside rushers, and without their $11 million safety, they would lose even with A.J. Brown. What happened to this team was they lost common sense. The Titans stopped doing things that were just plainly obvious. You know, the common sense of, dude just had back surgery. We really going to draft him in the first round? And they did it anyways. See, they got arrogant. They thought they were smarter than everybody else. So they started doing a bunch of things. And it wasn't just Robinson. You know, Vrabel was doing a lot of arrogant stuff. You know, we're going to bring Todd Downing back, and we'll bring in Tim Kelly, and it'll be just like defense last year. And it was like, no, dude, you got to change the play caller. Like, you gotta do things that just common sense. You don't fire your general manager on a Tuesday in the middle of the season. You know, and so the Titans had lost all common sense. Well, this move today, to me, is a common sense move. Malik stinks, and it's time to go with somebody else, and Malik's never going to be good. And I keep wondering where the common sense was earlier this season and why the Titans had Malik as their backup quarterback. So, I mean, I almost, when I heard today that Dobbs was going to start, I almost thought to myself, hallelujah, because it's like finally common sense has come back to the organization, at least for today. I don't know if it's going to stay, but for today, they made the right decision, the common sense decision, because Malik Willis can't play. And so they are pulling the plug on Malik. Chris Sanders said yesterday on the show that if you started Dobbs, you would lose Malik. And I'm fine with it because I don't think there's anything to be saved. So we're starting on that. 615-737-1025. TD will be with us at 2:30 to 3:30 for the TD Power Hour. So TD will be with us. Stillman and Company, get your phones in. We'll just go to them all day long. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. We are here at Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge right now, which, of course, the pregame show will start at 4:30 today. Chris and Derek will be knocking it out again. We love Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. They're the best. Stillman and Company on Thursday Night Football. It's 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
It's a new year and a new game. Robbie and Rex Road from 6 to 9.
I don't know whether to be proud of you or to tell you to leave the room. Both would be appropriate.
Chase and Michelle from 9 to 11.
Did you look at what the other teams are doing?
That's a player I want to keep an eye on.
Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace from 11 to 2.
You're the best running back in the league.
That's one you really need to win.
This is the way we were built. And Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman from 2 to 6.
Really the greatest player in the history of the team.
It's your new weekday lineup starting Monday on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise.
Theater seating with 2-piece sets starting at only $6.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Hundreds of full tables in stock for immediate delivery. Slate full tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Above ground pools are all on sale with 24-foot starting at only $29.99 installed.
Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Antioch and Franklin.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Nissan. I love this time of year. Christmas music, big meals, and maybe even a little snow. There's just something in the air. I don't know about you guys, but I have my leg lamp in the window and my moose glass for eggnog. I'm ready to kick off these holidays right. At Newton, we want to help you kick off the holidays right by helping spread the holiday spirit. And trust me, we have a lot of holiday spirit. We love helping customers find ways to surprise their loved ones with a new car. Can you imagine the look in their face Christmas morning? And if you aren't sure you're on the good list, we can put in a good word with the big guy. Don't be a Scrooge. Change your car buying experience in Newton and find out how we can help you start off the holidays with a new car. We have more new cars in stock right now than we've had any time in the past year. It's like a Christmas miracle. Kind of. Shop at newtonnissan.com to find your next car today.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Never miss a moment of the show.
What is this? Check it out.
Subscribe to the Stillman and Company podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Sounds like this has been a game-changing day for all of us.
Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Josh Dobbs is a quick study, and there's no question about that. And you can just hear the maturity level in his voice, and you can hear the confidence in his voice without question. Let's not confuse Josh Dobbs for one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the NFL. He's 10 for 17 for 45 yards in his career with 1 interception. That's the facts. That's the facts. And he has very, very little – I'm not sure he's ever started a game, and he has very, very little significant, meaningful playing time. To put him in a situation where – season on the line, that's a tough one. So when I say all things equal, I trust Josh Dobbs more than I trust Malik Willis with the small sample size of Malik Willis. I'm just not 100% sure things are equal.
There you go. That was Bob Shoop on our show. Now remember, he coached Josh Dobbs at Tennessee, Stillman & Company live at Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. I regardless of all things being equal or not, it can't be worse than Malik Willis. I mean, I think we have to be fair. That's the one thing I've always said about this program is you have to be fair. And I liked the Malik Willis pick when they made it because of what it signaled to Tannehill and the fact that he could be good. And it was very clear early on that he was not ready to play in the NFL, and the Titans did it anyways, and I thought that was stupid. And so now the Titans today have introduced common sense into their thinking, and Josh Dobbs starts at quarterback. And let me say this for everybody out there. I don't think Josh Dobbs is going to work a miracle and beat the Dallas Cowboys today. I don't think anything like that.
I don't think that Josh Dobbs is a great quarterback by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't even think he's a good quarterback.
Probably
I'm not even sure he's an okay quarterback.
He probably wouldn't have been up for the taking if he was.
But I think he's better than Malik. I truly believe that Malik Willis right now is the worst quarterback in the NFL. And I do not see any reason. I mean, to me, Trevor brought this up the other day. Because my thing was I was going to play Malik today, if it were up to me. I was going to play Malik against the Cowboys, let him stink it up, and then go with Dobbs against Jacksonville. And Trevor said if you're going to do that, then you might as well play Dobbs against the Cowboys in order to get Dobbs some experience with this offense. And more importantly, they can't practice. So this is the best opportunity that Josh Dobbs would have to practice with this team.
Makes sense.
I still don't think they're going to beat Jacksonville. Well, I don't know. I was debating that this morning with Robbie and Joe, who were kind of bystanders, and I was just kind of debating myself about this. for some reason, I think they're going to beat Jacksonville in the last game of the year. I don't know why. But I felt like I was going to make my decision on if they were going to beat Jacksonville, on if they were going to be smart enough to bench Malik. And because I think they are, and now they have, I think they're going to beat Jacksonville with Josh Dobbs. But I don't have any real proof to back that up. I just think it.
I don't think you're going to have any sort of proof that you think that a team is going to beat another team.
That is true.
But I think with what the Titans are doing this week and being very making a lot of conscious decisions of benching players that probably aren't 100%, just to go all in Week 18, I don't really know how to feel about that Week 18 game. It feels like Jacksonville has all the momentum and the Titans are just holding on by a sliver.
I don't think that matters. You know,
I think that matters. I think momentum absolutely matters.
I don't think it I think it matters in a game. I don't think it matters like week to week. You're going to talk about the Titans are playing today. They're expecting to lose by 1 million. Everybody, Shannon Sharp today said that if the Cowboys don't win by 17, then they've got serious questions and problems with the Cowboys. And so, I mean, they're going to lose by 1 million, but then they don't play all weekend. And then they just get ready for that 1 Week 18 game.
And Mike Vrabel after buys and baby buys.
I don't know. The Bengals have rocked him out of this world the last 2 times off those.
That's the Bengals. The Bengals have the Titans numbered.
That is true. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com, 615-737-1025. What do we have in our text line? TD will join us for the TD Power Hour in about 8 minutes. What do we have?
One texter says that everyone is completely overreacting on this benching of Malik tonight. It's not because the organization has given up on Malik. It's because this game means absolutely nothing, and there's no sense for him to go out there with absolutely no protection whatsoever just to get destroyed by a top 3 defense. They need Malik healthy for next week. Told you people would believe that.
So the Malik is getting the rest on this one. Do you buy that?
No.
Ian, do you buy that Malik is getting the rest to be ready to go Week 18?
No.
I don't buy that either.
But I think however you feel about Malik in this quarterback situation, you can use that to justify. Like, if you don't think that Malik is going to be the future of this franchise, if you think that he stinks, you can say the Titans have given up on him. If you think that Malik actually has a future and that the Titans believe in him, then you can say, well, they're resting him for next week. You can say whatever you want to justify your belief system. I personally just don't believe that they're going to rest Malik to get healthy for next week.
So what do you believe? Do you believe that they've given up on him?
I do. I think that when you start a quarterback that you signed last week, that you just got off the streets over your 3rd-round pick quarterback, that you've made up your mind that this guy that we found on the streets is going to have to give us a better opportunity.
I agree. But I also know the reason I asked you was because I know what my feelings are about Malik.
Yeah.
So I don't want to assume that their feelings about Malik are the same as my feelings about Malik, because a lot of the things that I think, clearly they don't think the same about. So that's why, to your point about how if you want to believe that Malik has a future, you think of this as they're just resting Malik. They're not going to risk Malik getting hurt in this meaningless game.
Because that's what they're doing with other starters.
Right.
Is resting them and making sure that they're healthy for next week. But I think there also could be another thing here is maybe the Titans are giving up on Malik, period. Maybe the Titans are giving up on Malik for the season and saying, look, we jumped the gun, making him this backup quarterback. He is not ready to start in the league. We'll give him another opportunity to learn and grow and let him actually get acclimated into the league before we can just absolutely cut ties.
So I think that's what they're going to tell him.
Maybe.
I think they're going to bring in another backup quarterback next year, and they're going to have them battle in camp, and then Malik's going to get cut.
Maybe.
And I mean,
but I don't think Malik's getting cut after this season.
No, but I don't think Mike Vrabel views Malik as an important part of this team, either now or going forward. What else we got?
Kenneth texts in, says, why would they rest Malik when he needs all the reps possible?
You know what's crazy is we talk about, meaningless game and resting guys and things like that. All the guys that are out today are guys that are in some way or another hurt, or Derrick Henry, who is on the injury report. They've played a meaningless game the second to last week of the year against an NFC team before. And that happened in 2019. And Derrick Henry didn't play in that game either. Now, Derrick Henry was dealing with a hamstring injury, and so Derrick didn't play. And then Derrick played the next week in Week 17 against the Texans, and they ended up going to the AFC Championship game. But Tannehill and all those other guys played. And there's going to be a lot of guys that are starters on this team. Like Kevin Byard's going to play this week. So I don't think it's a resting somebody just to rest them or to keep them healthy like you would for the third preseason game now. I think this is just simply they're benching him, and they're benching him because he stinks. And that I get, and to the point of the texter, I would agree. Why would you play Kevin Byard in this game, which they're going to do? Mm-hmm. Why would you play Kevin Byard if you're going to, want to keep guys from being injured against Jacksonville, but then not play Malik, who needs a lot more experience than Kevin Byard? Yeah. Kevin Byard can take this week off, and he'll be fine for the Sunday game against Jacksonville next week. Malik needs every snap possible if you're going to play him. This, I think, is bigger if we're thinking about getting the experience, this is bigger for Dobbs than it is for Willis, because Dobbs, this is the only opportunity that he will have to practice with this offense, because they can't go full speed in a practice because they got so many guys hurt. So this is the only opportunity that he'll have. This is going to be the line that he has for Jacksonville, because nobody's coming back unless PT does, but he stinks, and Raven Clark was better than him anyways. And then Woods and Westbrook and Burks and Okonkwo and Hooper. Like, this is the only opportunity that he'll have to practice, whereas when they get ready for the Jacksonville game, it'll be everybody in hoodies, and it'll be like, okay, this guy goes over here, and then just toss it over there. The walkthrough kind of stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, as I said, I think they're done with Malik. Now, they won't say it.
No.
They'll say after the game, we're just trying to get everybody, Vrabel will
Josh
say
Dobbs
something.
acclimated.
Vrabel will say something along the lines. I actually thought about this. Vrabel will be asked after the game, why did you make the decision to start Josh Dobbs? And Vrabel will give you that constipated look as soon as whoever asks it. I assume it's going to be Paul. So Paul asks it. You want to do a Karski impersonation?
I'll try and do it as good as Joe.
Okay.
Now, I can't do it. Mike, why did you decide to go with Josh Dobbs?
We're just, just trying to do what's best for the team. And, that's what we decided to do.
Now, have you given up on Malik?
Jimmy, you got a question you want to ask here? What's next?
Cody texts in, says the point of starting Josh Dobbs tonight is to prepare him to play next week against Jacksonville because Willis is no good. Then pray Tannehill can come back for the playoffs if we win Week 18. Anything can happen in the playoffs after that.
Does anybody think Tannehill can come back for Week 18, as was reported by Ian Rappaport last week, Caroline?
No.
Ian?
Doesn't sound great.
Okay. Does anybody think that Tannehill could come back for Wild Card Weekend?
That would be how many weeks removed from the surgery? 4? 3?
Well, see, here's what's complicated is if he plays for the Jacksonville game, that would be 20 days off the surgery. Tua played the national championship 28 days off of the surgery.
And that's absolute minimum, correct?
Yes. If the Titans were to play in that Monday night wildcard game on ESPN, which is very likely because a Titans-Ravens game would be viewed by TV as the worst game and thus would be given to ESPN, then I think that would be 28 days. If they have to play on Saturday, they're not playing on Sunday. If they have to play on Saturday, then it would be 26 days.
It would be a long shot, but I think Tannehill would do everything he possibly could to be able to play in that game.
I think Tannehill might play Wildcard Weekend.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an open mind for that, and that's why he's not on IR. 615-737-1025. We will continue to get to your phones throughout, but TD will join us for a game day edition of the TD Power Hour. His reaction, Josh Dobbs is in, Malik Willis is out. We'll get to that coming up next. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Those are my guys. I love Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. They've been taking care of my home for years, and I know that they can do the exact same for you. That's why I love Hiller, because not only does Hiller do a fantastic job, but Hiller also has this unbelievable ability of always coming through in the clutch, and you can just go right on your phone to happyhiller.com. You can just pull it up, and you can just set an appointment right then and there, and it's usually within the next day or so, and Hiller's right at your house. You'll get text message notifications when the drivers are on their way, and I have never had to call Hiller back out for something ever again. In fact, I had them install a ceiling fan one time, and then they came back for my Happy Hiller Club member tune-up, and the same guy came out, and he was like, how's the fan? I'm like, the fan's fine. You did a fantastic job. They always do. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Proud supporters of the Preds, the Vols, and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face truck today.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi, and this is Smashville.
Going to the front of the net, he scores. What a gorgeous move. Roman Yossi.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey y'all, it's Courtney with Parman Tractor and Equipment. We're your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. As 2022 comes to a close, we want to thank our many customers. You can rent or purchase excavators, mini excavators, track loaders, and more through Parman. Gift yourself or business a new or used Link Belt or Takeuchi machine. Visit parmantractor.com or come see us at 3570 Dickerson Pike, Nashville, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Parman employee-owned family to yours.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe, and in the past, hair loss was inevitable, but now you have a choice for thicker, fuller hair. Trust the experts with 45 years of experience at Hair Club. They've helped more than 500,000 clients love their hair again. No matter your age, stage of hair loss, or budget, Hair Club can customize a solution for you. And for a limited time, you can get 10% off when you book a free consultation today at hairclub.com/chase. That's hairclub.com/chase.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
It's a new year and a new game. Robbie and Rex Road from 6 to 9.
I don't know whether to be proud of you or to tell you to leave the room. Both would be appropriate.
Chase and Michelle from 9 to 11.
Did you look at what the other teams are doing?
That's a player I want to keep an eye on.
Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace from 11 to 2.
You're the best running back in the league.
That's one you really need to win. This is the way we were built.
And Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman from 2 to 6.
Really the greatest player in the history of the team?
It's your new weekday lineup starting Monday on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Ryan Johansson. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fun to be back in Nissan Stadium. Obviously, I wish we got the win. But, we're working hard getting ready for Thursday night game, which is going to come really quick. But, no, it was good. It's good to be back in a Tennessee uniform. A lot of great fans. Oh, it's been good. It's been good. It's been, I think, anytime you get as many mental reps as you can throughout the process. So it's been good. There's a lot of, as I said last week, there's a lot of crossover between the offenses that I've been in this offense. So that's helped a ton. I have a great QB room, and Pat, we've spent a lot of time together getting me up to speed as quickly as possible.
That was Josh Dobbs earlier this week, QB1 for tonight's Thursday night game against the Dallas Cowboys. TD is with us for the TD Power Hour presented by Craneworks and Rental Works. For all your crane and equipment rental, visit craneworks.com. TD, your reaction to the news today that Josh Dobbs is in, Malik Willis is out.
Yeah, man, I was shocked, man. And, first off, shout out to Justin Milo for the Draft Network for grabbing that news, man. That was a really good scoop, and I definitely didn't expect that. I thought that they would do everything they can to give Malik Willis more opportunities to get further acclimated into playing in the league and in the offense and everything else. It definitely surprised me.
So Chris Sanders said this yesterday on our show before we knew that this news was possible. He said that if you bench Malik Willis like that, you may lose him. I don't know how Malik will take this. What do you anticipate this news meaning to Malik and how the Titans view him in the future? We lose TD? I think we lost TD.
Oh, no.
Darn.
It was just getting good, too.
I know.
A bunch of that just froze. I got a bit where you said if Sanders had said if you bench Malik Willis, you might lose him.
There you go.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think Malik is strong enough mentally to where he could bounce back from that. And for me, when I look at him, you think back to some of the things that he said just in regards to the perspective, right, that he has, where he says, it's just football, right? And he's not a guy who is going to get over here on the Korean Veterans Bridge and want to jump off after a loss or after something regarding football. So I think he's going to be fine bouncing back. I feel like he's mentally strong enough to do that, and I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Do you think that this is maybe a note from the Titans about how Mike Vrabel really feels about Malik, though, to have him benched?
Well, it could be viewed in a couple ways, and this is something that I'm going to work hard to get from Coach Vrabel after the game. I tried to get it, just from different sources earlier, and I just wonder, okay, is this something where they're trying to keep him from getting slaughtered behind this offensive line against that Dallas pass rush? Or is this actually, hey, you know what? I want to see what Josh Dobbs could do. So there's a variety of ways you can look at it. I mean, it's not like, Josh Dobbs has a ton of experience. He has less starts than Malik does. So I don't know, man. It's a nutty situation, to say the least.
I mean, I do know. We actually practiced this, TD, what Mike Vrabel's going to say after the game. Caroline, please ask me the question.
Now, Mike, why did you decide to go with Josh Dobbs?
We're just trying to do what's best for the team, and it's just a decision we made. That I guarantee you, it's going to be something along those lines, TD. I mean,
so you follow up and say, how is that best for the team, right? You got to follow up. It's not going to be. I promise you, it's not going to be one of those times where that's an answer that's not going to be met with pushback. I refuse.
I love that. Which, by the way, TD, good follow-up the other day asking Vrabel about that 8 to 5 question, which was very eye-opening. But I do have one other thought on Malik, which is, TD, I think that they failed him. Whatever chance he had, and I don't know what it was, if he had a chance to be a star, if he had a chance to be a starter, or whatever chance he had, I thought they ruined by making him the backup quarterback. And putting him out there, in a Sunday night football game, and then putting him out there last week. And I don't think Malik's ready for that. I don't think the offense is ready. The offense that they run and the way that they want to run it, the Tannehill offense, I don't think that he fits into that. And that if you're going to go with Malik, you have to invest 100% in Malik. And honestly, I don't think Malik's very good, but at the same time, I think they kind of failed him. What did you see in that?
Yeah, I can see where there were shortcomings on their behalf. I think he does fit into this offense. My thing is this. There were so many times where you see him handing the ball off to Derrick Henry, and that backside is just so clear. You remember some of the diagrams and things that I drew up, with the dots during games where I circle a whole half of the field just wide open. Like, why not boot him and give him a chance to run the football? Or why not boot him and have that deep, cross-country over route going from the opposite side to the side you have him rolling out, and let him throw the football that way. I don't understand why they do not give him more opportunities to make plays that way. And when you have a guy with that ability, you take advantage of it, and they haven't. So I can see exactly where you're saying they failed him.
Do you think right now Josh Dobbs gives them, and let's forget about the Cowboy game today, next week against Jacksonville, do you think Josh Dobbs gives them a better chance to win than Malik Willis does?
No, I don't think so. Dobbs is a very intelligent quarterback, intelligent man, period. I mean, the guy's a daggone rocket scientist, so he's going to be able to process and do everything well. But I don't think he gives them a better, what is it that he does that Malik Willis can't do? I mean, that's really the question. And I like the way, because Joe Rexrode had posted that, he thinks that Dobbs gives him a better chance to win. And some of the, great fans of this team push back. Well, okay, well, how? You know what I mean? We could all say, hey, this, but tell me how, why? And that's not something that I don't think anybody can really tell me or convince me.
I mean, I believe Dobbs gives them a better chance to win, but that's just because of how little I think about what Malik's doing right now out there for them.
So I ask you the same question. What does he do to give them a better chance to win?
I mean, I truly don't know what what throws Malik Willis can make right now. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea how good Josh Dobbs is, and I truly don't think it's very good. But I think
so. It's the unknown. It's the unknown that's what intrigues you. The unknown.
It's not even about intriguing. It's that, I mean, I think Malik has a 42 passer rating, and I think he's really earned that number. Like, I think Malik's awful, and I think the offense has not done him any favors. But man, I really think Malik struggles. I really think. I mean,
he's
bad.
Definitely struggled. He's definitely struggled. I mean, you can't dispute that. Now, there have been a couple drop passes. I think, again, for me, it's what I would do, because there's some throws. Like, you look at the throw to Cody Hollister that was behind him and they got picked off. You can't have that. You look at the interception last week on the slant. You have to read that guy buzzing on those double slants. You can't have that. But I think there are some plays that he's made. You look at the touchdown run. You look at one of the throws he had to Okonkwo. I think there's some things that he's done. But, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's played well, because that's not the case. But in my opinion, I think that's why you give him more opportunities. Allow him to play into that. You knew coming in that this was a developmental guy. So allow him to develop. And I don't feel as though he's developing today by watching. I don't see how that helps his development.
And not only that, if he was going to develop by watching, then he should have been watching. You know what I mean?
From
this
the jump.
season?
Yeah.
It should have been like Logan Woodside's our backup, or whoever's the backup. Sean Mannion, or one of these, they all stink the same. He's the backup, and Malik is the third stringer, and he's not going to see the field, and that's what should have happened to Malik. And I want to blame – I kind of want to blame Vrabel for not putting Malik in that situation, but Vrabel wasn't the general manager, and I think – after the season, there's going to be a lot of, well, this guy wanted that, and this guy wanted this, and this guy wanted, and you'll never really know whose bright idea it was to stick Malik out there before he was ready. But that, I think, has hurt Malik, TD.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that has hurt Malik and, this whole organization. I mean, this is one of those years where it's a step back for them. It's definitely a step back.
TD is with us. We'll get back to your phones as we always do, 615-737-1025 with your questions for TD. But we'll also, because we've got a short show today, we'll get your phones in with TD as well. Again, the news of the day, Josh Dobbs in, Malik Willis is out for today's Thursday night football game. Plus, all the injuries the Titans have right now and all the guys who are out. What do we make of that? And what do we make of the way Mike Vrabel is treating this game compared to what he's done in the past? We'll get into that with TD. We are live at Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge right here. I almost said it's the pregame show. It is Stillman and Company on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
New Year's Eve. It's time. Iowa.
Touchdown, Iowa.
Kentucky.
And that's a Kentucky touchdown.
The TransPerfect Music City Bowl lives on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and 93.3 Classic Hits. Join Caroline Fenton for the official pregame show at 10, followed by kickoff at 11. The TransPerfect Music City Bowl is presented by
High Five Buys and the Nashville Sheriff.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and 93.3 Classic Hits.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobe. It's a very warm day ahead of us. High temperatures low 60s, fairly overcast, and the possibility of a few very light, isolated, short rain showers cannot be ruled out coming in towards the afternoon.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Want to kick off the new year without any credit card debt? If that sounds good to you, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit. Wipe out all those credit card bills right now. Hey, Willie Donick here. Rates are down, and it's a great move to get on more solid financial footing for the new year. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a portion of the equity you have and enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. Use that money to pay off those high-interest credit card loans of any type. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. Consolidate everything into one easy payment. Even if you did a whole total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep your main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
NFL Week 17, folks, started off right with NFL same-game parlay insurance from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Joe Richard here to let you know it doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you have an account already. You're going to get free bets back if your 4-plus leg Thursday night same-game parlay falls one leg short. NFL same-game parlays, of course, are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Local interest here with this one, Cowboys at Titans. You know, Cowboys are still technically alive after beating the Eagles. So I think Dak Prescott's absolutely going to play, and I think he's going to play well against that Titans defense. I'd go over passing yards. I actually think Derrick Henry gets an anytime touchdown too, and I like the Cowboys in this game. You know, I think that the Cowboys playing much better. The Titans don't have a lot of incentive, except they just need to turn things around. Build your own and choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for your FanDuel's operated sportsbook app, however you want to play. Bet it Thursday night. Sign up promo code Joe102 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online money wager must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is now $1 free bets. Expires 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $25. Restrictions apply. See terms of sports at FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Robbie Stanley.
To avoid non-contact injuries and not repeat last year.
Joe Rexrode.
Just wait until next year's national TV schedule comes out.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
In my lengthy career of covering these games and these finishes in this league, I've never heard of anything like this. How the schedule fell so quirkily that all of a sudden this game doesn't matter to a team that will play at Jacksonville. It'll be in 10 days, actually. So they get 10 days to get right for at Jacksonville. And no matter what happens tonight, they could lose 100-0 tonight. If they go win at Jacksonville, they win the division. I've never heard of anything like that. Okay.
That was Skip Bayless earlier today, and it's funny that Skip Bayless says that. TD's with us for the TD Power Hour, because TD, do you remember 3 years ago, the Titans played the Saints before they had to play the Texans, and the Saints game didn't mean really anything to the Titans, and Mike Vrabel held Derrick Henry out of that game, but everybody else played against the Saints, and then they had to beat the Texans the next week, which they did in order to make the playoffs. You remember that? Khalif Raymond got decapitated. So I do wonder, in that game, it was, to the best of my recollection, it was just Derrick Henry that sat, and Derrick Henry very clearly had the hamstring injury. This game, everybody, it feels like, is sitting except for Kevin Byard. I did up the numbers. Other than the guys that have been ruled out, the Titans may only have 5 NFL-caliber starters out there on both sides of the ball. I ask you this, are you surprised by that, or is this team really that hurt right now, and Mike Vrabel is not being cautious, but he's actually doing it because these guys need this game off anyway?
I think really it's a combination of the two, honestly. I am a bit surprised by it. I thought, there were going to be some guys that they allowed to, continue to play in. Specifically, one of the guys that I was surprised about is Danico Autry. You know what I mean? I was very surprised that he's not playing, but you should note that it's a new injury, right? It's a bicep injury, and that's not something that had been listed before. So, yeah, and even with Derrick Henry, it's a hip. I just don't like it. I think really it's really important that you go into the game, especially knowing this is a 5-game losing streak. It's not something this franchise isn't used to. And it's different in the locker room. Like, there's not the same energy and same juice. So I understand schematically, mathematically, however you want to put it, there isn't much reasoning to the game, but they absolutely could use a win. And, in talking to Robert Woods one of the things that he said, it was important, that this game is one where they get out to some type of rhythm on offense, establish some confidence. They haven't scored 20 points or more in 4 of the last 5 games. You know what I mean? And so we're talking about a team that is really, really struggling.
What do you make, too, of the fact that in the NFL, like, I know the Titans are double-digit dogs, and I think the Cowboys should kill the Titans, and I think they probably will today. But we've seen crazy things happen in the NFL where all of a sudden it's like, oh, my God, I can't believe. Even that Saints game a couple years ago that Derrick Henry didn't play, and that was Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas when the Saints were good. And the Titans were right there with the Saints until they missed that helmet-to-helmet hit that knocked Khalif Raymond out of the game, and he fumbled and they returned it for a touchdown. Other than that, like, that was a real game. And I do wonder, like, do the Titans even think inside that locker room that they could go out there and hang tough with the Cowboys tonight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they absolutely think they could do that. I mean, you don't go into a game not believing that you could win it, so I definitely feel that's their belief that they can win a game. I mean, how could you do all that preparation and say, hey, man, we ain't going to win? Mm-hmm. That's not the case. So it's just the NFL. Like, they want parity, and I think they've done a good job achieving it. But I don't know about how much parity is going to factor into this game. I think this is going to be a good old-fashioned beat down, the brakes getting beat off somebody.
TD's with us for the TD Power Hour. I did promise we'll work in phones since we have a short show today, and our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. What do we have?
John in Nashville, Texas says, do you think that Josh Dobbs being Big Ben's backup and learning from Ben's quick pass and short pass game that Tannehill has done well in, from that perspective, do you think that maybe that may help the Titans and it could give the team some type of familiar game plan?
TD?
That's an interesting way to look at it. I don't know how much it'll help him, but I mean, if they do that quick passing game, that's something that they should do, especially considering what's going on the offensive line, man. It's not that good protection. So quick passing game would be great for them.
Here's what bothers me about that, though. I think Malik Willis might not be one of the things that he might do best are those RPO quick decisions, ball goes out immediately. Like, that might be what he's best at. And so is Dobbs going to be better at that than Malik is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. I thought more RPOs would have been a good recipe, but I mean, who knows, man? Like, it's disappointing to say the least. I'll be honest.
Did you see the stat that Blake Bedingfield had at paulkaharski.com that in the RPOs the Titans ran, they ran 11 plays, both touchdowns, and they averaged about 10 yards a play running the RPOs, and everything else they averaged about 3 yards a play and didn't score touchdowns? And I'm like, why, if it was working so well for 11 plays with the RPOs, would you then for 40 plays not run the RPOs?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And Paul, PK asked a good question about, the law of diminishing returns. As you continue to run it, will the success kind of taper off? So that's something. I know a lot of it, they've had on some of the RPOs that they did earlier this year. That's when you saw a lot of those illegal man downfield calls and those mental errors, those costly mistakes, shooting themselves in the foot, as they've said, as they refer to those as.
Dustin in Hopkinsville, Texas says, I think that Mike Vrabel's doing this just to save face, and so in the end, he can say that he tried everything to make the playoffs to ensure his job.
I I don't think that this is a matter of saving face or anything like that. I think it's I don't know. I don't think that this is Mike Vrabel trying to save face. For whatever reason, he feels this is best for the team, and I think that's the case. But it's not like trying to make up or cover all bases and show that he tried this and tried that. I think it goes beyond that.
Although I will say this, because if I owned the team, Mike Vrabel would not be on the hot seat. But right. I don't know what they're I don't know what they're thinking at the top with this organization. No. Not to say the Robinson thing, was completely unjustified, but I was stunned by it. And so
Absolutely.
I don't know how they feel about Vrabel. I assume that they like him. I like him, but I don't know how they feel about him, TD.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the whole thing. Remember, John Robinson signed a contract 10 months ago, an extension. So it's things have changed, and can they change like that on Coach Vrabel? I don't know. It's possible. I mean, what I've learned, this year, I'm not going to put anything past anybody in that building, man.
I think that is I think that is reasonable. Chris, Titans and Truth, is up next here on the program on the TD Power Hour. What's up, Chris?
What's up, gentlemen, in Miss Caroline? I'm going to put out, Jared, it's time for you to learn. You got to remember some facts. TD, you probably will know this much as I do. Now, you're talking about how much you dislike Malik, and I get it. He hasn't done very well. But there was a particular quarterback picked in the draft some years ago that nobody liked that was thought to suck. Only had 49% completion, 49% QBR, was under 50 QBR, was under 60% completion percentage first couple of years. Thought was a bust. Had the same skill set. Was deep ball, inaccurate, but can run. You know who that quarterback was in 2018? Ended up being one of the better quarterbacks in the league in Josh Allen. People thought he sucked his first couple of years. Thought he sucked. But now he had a competent coaching staff who fit a system around his skill set, and he became successful. Now, Malik may not have nowhere near the same career as that, but if they would do right by Malik, maybe he could have a little bit of success. Now, also, we got to quit thinking that Mike Vrabel is untouchable. I mean, with Amy Adams Strunk showing that she wants a Super Bowl and she fired John Robinson after giving him an extension, I mean, Vrabel is not as safe as he thinks he is.
So I don't know how safe he thinks he is. Good call, Chris. I don't know how safe he thinks he is. I think the bigger thing, though, is the Josh Allen point that he made. Malik can get better, but I do feel like the Titans are slowing up the development if they're benching him, TD.
Yeah, I think they're slowing up the development, but I think one thing that was missed in that whole segment that he had there was they acquired Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That helped also. So there's things that were done to have Josh Allen develop that way. I don't think that, we should look at the two. The bottom line is Malik Willis is here. They're going to have him be their quarterback. They have to figure out ways to further enhance what he's able to do. And I think that's where the play calling, it absolutely has to get better. But he has to get better too. Like he's not, a guy who's immune to the criticism. He has to get better as well.
TD's with us for the TD Power Hour, presented by Craneworks and Rentalworks. We'll continue to work in your calls, 615-737-1025. Josh Dobbs is in tonight. So what should we expect to see out of Josh Dobbs, or what do we even think Josh Dobbs can do with no Derrick Henry? We'll get to that with TD next. Stillman and Company live from Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. It is 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You watch the game. We talk the game.
The college football playoff rankings, Tennessee, the #1 team in the country.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
When that door closed behind me and I was free, the main thing I wanted to do was just re-enter society, get a job, and see my family.
It's okay.
There's a new state office of re-entry in Tennessee, specifically to help folks like me get jobs. Go to tnworkready.com or visit your local American Job Center. Re-entry is a normal thing, and it's okay.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
tnworkready.com.
Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House invites you to join them for this year's college football bowl games and playoff action. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, or Ohio State, who will be the last one standing? Boomba's has countless big screen TVs and the biggest video wall in Nashville at their East Nashville location. So watch it all go down and enjoy their 2-time award-winning Best Pizza in America, featured on the Food Network and 100% crafted for you. Wash it all down with their award-winning happy hour with $2 Boom Brews and select domestic pints. Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House in East Nashville, 1003 Russell Street. Pizza, beer, sports. See you there, Nashville.
The Nashville Sheriff is hiring correctional officers. Earn $52,500 after paid training and probation. Positions are available immediately. You must be 21 and over with a high school diploma or GED. Come, join our family. That's $52,500 with great benefits. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. Earn $52,500. Stop searching. Apply now. The Nashville Sheriff.
Your company's hiring. Who isn't? We would love to show you how to use 102.5 The Game to attract and retain employees. We can also help you find the exact person you're looking for with a targeted digital campaign. You can trust our team to help you build your team. Email us at together@cromwellmedia.com.
Blood Assurance, this community's local blood centers, is hiring for several open positions in the Nashville area. Be a part of a company that helps save lives by providing the local hospitals with the much-needed life source of blood. They offer competitive pay, great benefits, paid time off, and retirement benefits. Blood Assurance has a family-friendly environment. Go to bloodassurance.org/careers. Again, that's bloodassurance.org/careers to apply.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
1, 2, 3. I think it was a good game. You had a couple of big plays.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
We're one play away from an injury.
He knows this. He's a study of the game.
And we have strong opinions.
He's been awful. I don't think they were trying, and that's why I feel the way I feel.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman and Caroline Fenton. Presented by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Stillman & Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. We are live today, Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. And, of course, the pregame show starts at 4:30. Derek Mason, Chris Sanders, and yours truly for the Titans and the Cowboys. And the Titans have made some news official on injured reserve. Zach Cunningham goes back to injured reserve, where he has spent a lot of time. Bud Dupree goes to injured reserve, and quarterback Ryan Tannehill goes to injured reserve. The Titans have one IR callback left this season. Tom Pelissero at NFL Network notes that for Tannehill it would be the last 2 regular season games and it would be the first 2 playoff games, so the Titans would have to get to the AFC Championship game in order for Ryan Tannehill to come back. Good luck to that. And then they've elevated offensive lineman Zach Johnson and defensive lineman Jaden Peavy from the practice squad. TD, I don't even know who those guys are. But that's the roster that's going to be out there today against the Cowboys. What do we make about – let's start with Tannehill here going to IR. You had reported that it would basically take a miracle for him to come back this season. Do you think that the Titans are going to use their last injured reserve spot before the playoffs, or do you think that they'll hold out hope that Tannehill could possibly come back for an AFC Championship game?
Yeah, that's a tough question. Monty Rice, Jack Gibbons, those guys have played solid at inside backer, but you do have to look at David Long as a possibility. But that's a tough question. I think they will use one on David Long, the final one. But you look, man, like that's 2 designations, off of IR, and Zach Cunningham and Ola Adeni that just kind of just got tossed to the side and wasted.
Mm-hmm. That's Vrabel as the GM right there. Now, the second one, Bud Dupree. I mean, TD, I'm a Bud Dupree fan, but I don't know if they can bring Bud Dupree back next season after all the injuries this season.
It's tough. It's one of those things where he's he's been hurt an awful lot, and the production didn't show in the numbers. It showed in some of the things that they were able to do, and they clearly have a different energy when he's out there. But it doesn't warrant that big of a contract. That's the big question. And I'm with you. I'm not so sure that it does.
If the Titans cut Bud Dupree after this year, they'll save about $10 million against the cap. They'll take a $10 million dead cap charge. I mean, I would take the $10 million bucks, and I'm a huge Dupree fan as to what I think he means to the team and how hard I think he would be for them to replace. But he just can never stay healthy. And then Cunningham, I mean, TD, they claimed him off of waivers from the Texans, and he had a great career in Houston. He played for Vrabel there. He had a great career at Vanderbilt. You know, I don't think he's been worth the investment that the Titans made in him, especially considering how much David Long Jr. outshined him when they played next to each other.
Right. That's a lot of money that they have spent. I figured Cunningham was gone regardless at the end of this year, but it goes back to, again, like you said, David Long Jr. and Monty Rice, Dr. Jack Gibbons. Remember, they drafted Chance Campbell. So these are all guys that, that inside backer position, like you could put a guy in that played a lot of football in college. You could get him in there as someone who could fill in and give you legit starts.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, if that's okay, TD.
Cool.
Do you think now that Ryan Tannehill is on IR, do you think we've seen Ryan Tannehill take his last snap for the Tennessee Titans?
I don't. I think he comes back next year. I think, give him do an extension, and he'll be back. What's better out there right now? Derek Carr? No, I don't believe so. He's not better than Ryan Tannehill, and he's more expensive. I don't, Aaron Rodgers, this roster is not built to go all in like that. So, no, I don't think there's a better option. I think he's the guy to come back.
Brady?
Put Tom Brady behind that offensive line.
Oh, he's got this offensive line right now, and Tampa's getting killed. And they're terrible.
There you have it.
TD's with us. Okay, Josh Dobbs is starting tonight against, and it looks like he may be the starter going forward with Tannehill on IR. Malik Willis out. What do you want to see from Josh Dobbs? Because he really, even though he's been in the league in some capacity or another for like 6 years, Josh Dobbs has really not played any football at all. What are your expectations for Dobbs, and what do you want to see from him?
Well, really, the thing that's good for the Titans in this case is, and Todd Downing had touched on it. You remember he worked with Kevin Stefanski. They were there together in Minnesota, and so what Todd Downing said is, he could help him with like that Spanish to English translation, so to speak. Whereas, you could find like terms, like concepts, and that could help a guy who's already brilliant like Josh Dobbs is. That will help him get acclimated. So I think really the main thing that you want to see is him able to progress through, him able to go where his reads take him, not turn the football over, work some play action, very similar skill set. He's an athletic guy, and that's really what you want to see out of him. Just, keep the chains moving and keep everything on schedule.
What do you think that they're thinking that he can do better than Malik Willis?
Listen, I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. That's the question that I've been, trying to figure out for quite some time. So I couldn't tell you all day. That's been a dilemma. No clue.
Do you think that there's anything that Josh Dobbs could get out of today's game? Because I worry about Micah Parsons absolutely annihilating him today. And not just Parsons, but DeMarcus Lawrence and the rest of that Cowboy defense. I worry about them just annihilating him back there. But do you think there's anything that they think they can get out of Dobbs playing in this game to prepare them for Jacksonville? Because I was telling Caroline, I don't think they can practice right now. Like, I don't think they have enough people to have a real practice. This is the closest thing they're going to get to a practice before Dobbs or Willis would have to play against Jacksonville in Week 18.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, hey, you could always get better at playing football by playing football. So I think you do stand to gain some things from an experience perspective. That's obviously the case. From a rhythmic perspective, if this is the guy that they're going to play next week, hey, come out here, try to establish some type of, momentum, something that you could carry over. And that's exactly what Robert Woods was saying, as far as wanting to play and wanting to, field an offense that, could legitimately be on the field next week as well.
What do you think about the skill players and the adjustment period that they'll have to deal with? It's one thing to go from Tannehill to Willis, who's been in practice every day this year, but then to go to Dobbs, what kind of adjustment will that be like?
Yeah, there's a timing thing to it. There's an understanding that, hey, when I'm running this corner route, I know, the quarterback understands that I break at this angle and it takes me this amount of time to get in and out of that break. Those are the things. The timing is really important. And that's why you'll see guys spend so much time together, when they're a new tandem. So you have that. And then the understanding where you look at Aaron Rodgers, right? He and Devontae Adams or Jordy Nelson, or whoever that used to be, over time, they were able to look at each other and there was understanding. Okay, that's the look. This is what we're doing. And that's something that, chemistry.
Sure. I hate to cut you off, TD. Sorry about that. What are your thoughts on Dobbs before he showed up here? Like, what did you think of him as a player when he was kind of that 2-3 in Cleveland where he's going to back up Jacoby Brissett, but then when Deshaun shows up, he's out of here, and he was kind of a 2-3 with the Steelers, and I think he was a 2 for Jacksonville. What were your thoughts on Josh Dobbs before you even knew that he was, going to be starting a game for the Titans?
Yeah, it was always mobility. Like, I remember, seeing him roll out and throw those deep comebacks and curls, those type of things. It was always, a guy who could make plays on the move. But I'll be honest, I've never been enamored with his ability. I love the fact that, he's a rocket scientist, a literal one. So that always was fun to think about when guys would say, hey, I wonder if he could, grasp an NFL playbook. The guy he's a rocket scientist. I'm sure NFL playbook won't be too difficult, but those are the things that I thought of.
TD is with us. We'll get to your phones and your questions for TD next for the TD Power Hour. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. The TD Power Hour is presented by Craneworks and RentalWorks. And the Preds have a game tomorrow night. It's your chance to participate in Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty and Superbook Sports. If you correctly guess a Preds player that scores a goal in the game tomorrow night, you win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Preds game. Participate in Pick to Click tomorrow morning at 8:45 with Robbie and Rexroad. And be sure to tune into this Sunday's Game of the Week on 94.9 The Fan as the New York Jets take on the Seattle Seahawks at 3 o'clock. The NFL Game of the Week is brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue and Superbook Sports, voted the #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
185! Every team needs a quarterback.
185!
That's why we have
Hasselbeck, bootleg, rollout, toss, touchdown!
Tim. ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck gives his expertise on all things NFL.
How that team is built, I think there's a lot to like about them.
Every Tuesday at noon, Tim with Chase, Willie, and D-Mace. Presented by Red Spirit and Wine in Bellevue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Is there an upside to today's rising inflation and interest rates? There is if you own a home. While houses in Nashville are getting harder to sell, they're more attractive than ever to rent. Renting delivers regular cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. And when you hire Renters Warehouse as your property manager, you won't have to find tenants, collect rent, or handle those annoying 3 a.m. maintenance calls. Book your free home rental price analysis today at renterswarehouse.com or call 615-398-9550. Renters Warehouse. You can't buy happiness, but you can rent it.
Give the gift of luxury this holiday season. Nothing is more elegant than a trip to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Gift cards from Bob's Steakhouse or Mocara Day Spa make wonderful gifts for any occasion, especially during the holidays. The foodie in your life will enjoy an evening of fine dining from the award-winning Bob's Steakhouse. Bob's Steakhouse specializes in serving big, flavorful steaks next to Texas-sized portions of delicious sides. The special person in your life will be comforted with the gift of relaxation and rejuvenation when they receive a gift card to Makara Day Spa. Let the spoiling begin with a soothing facial, hot stone massage, body treatment, salon service, or mani-pedi. Bob's Steakhouse and Makara Day Spa in the luxurious Omni Nashville Hotel. Purchase your gift cards today.
So many choices. Be careful. She is dangerously seductive. Tastes too good to be whiskey. Oil Fire Whiskey is now in Tennessee. If they don't have it, ask them to get it or go somewhere else. Oil Fire. There is nothing quite like it.
312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Nashville. 312 Pizza Company only uses the best all-natural ingredients and makes everything in-house from scratch every single day. And trust me, you can taste the difference. They've got deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, their Italian beef. You'll taste the freshness. Stop in for a pint of local beer and a slice of pizza, or order online at 312pizzaco.com. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Signs First, Nashville's leading locally owned and operated sign and physical media company, has been supporting local community organizations for over 30 years. Signs First offers a 10% discount to all churches, nonprofits, and charities. Go to sfnash.com.
Celebrate New Year's Eve at Rebar at the Dam. Ring in your Nashville New Year with live music from Backlit performing on stage. As always, watch all the big games on the giant video walls and multiple TVs. Advance tickets on sale now. Single $15, couples $25. Rebar at the Dam. Why fight the downtown crowds when you have a party right in your own backyard? Plenty of free, well-lit parking. Rebar at the Dam, just off Stewart's Ferry Pike. It's a damn good time.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way. I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Sounds like this has been a game-changing day for all of us.
Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Be sure to check out Nashville's best deals. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals. They've got half-off gift cards for Old School Pizza and Nashville B-Cycle and more. Visit theGameNashville.com/deals now while supplies last. TD is with us for the TD Power Hour. TD, Ed Werner, your colleague at ESPN, tweets out that Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, and Ryan Tannehill are on IR, and he says the decision with Tannehill explains the moves to Josh Dobbs starting tonight. Ed Werner says Mike Vrabel presumably protecting rookie Malik Willis for next week at Jacksonville. Do you think that is a possibility, that Mike Vrabel would rest Malik and keep him from playing Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence today and have him start next week against Jacksonville?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we talked about. You know, the possibility of that being something that they were looking to do to make sure that they have him next week for the all or nothing game against Jacksonville. You know, that's definitely something I could see being the case.
Let's go to your phones. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. What do we have?
Tyler Texan says, why in the world would the Titans not have put Tannehill on IR last week so that if they were going to happen to beat Jacksonville and the Ravens, he could be back?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of those things where they were holding out hope. Again, they said it last week. They were holding out hope that he could possibly return for this Jacksonville game. So that is what I would imagine would be the reason why they didn't make that IR move yet.
Mm-hmm. Jerry is up next here. Jerry, you're on with TD. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? TD, do you think that Josh Dobbs could be the wild card? And if not him, who do you think the wild card player of the game will be?
Yeah. Well, with this collection, I'm not sure that there is. I would categorize anything as a wild card because just the day and everything that has happened is enough for one. But I mean, Chiga Campo, this is a good opportunity to catch a run guy who has shown that he can make big plays. You know, maybe Dobbs is able to hit him on one of those, routes. He pops open and he takes it to the house. That could be a wild card.
For me, it's the receivers. The receivers with Dobbs, I don't know if Dobbs is going to be better for what they do or not or whatever, but it's time for one of these receivers to, especially Burks, it's time for one of those guys to have a nice game even in spite of everything.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you could say that about the receivers. This is a group, you look overall, that there's been 2 100-yard performances, receiving performances this year. We're in week 17, Jared. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much more production they are going to deliver, just to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
One texter texts in and says, how bad is Tannehill's injury really?
Well, I mean, you saw the high ankle sprain. That's something that's not to be played with. So I mean, he had that surgery, the procedure, the tightrope procedure to try to get it more stabilized. So, I mean, I think that lets you know right there how bad it is. And just to be able to keep him out of this many games, I mean, Tannehill, we know, is a guy that's very tough. And for him not to be able to go out there, that says a lot.
I mean, I just thought the numbers didn't add up with Tannehill when Ian Rappaport was talking last week about how he could come back for week 18. And I'm like, Tua is the fastest person to come back from that at 28 days for a national championship game. And, this would be 20 days. That didn't totally add up. So
yeah,
I think
it's
the
a 4 to 6 week. Yeah, 4 to 6 week process,
And we're talking about 4 minimum, so
right.
I wonder if they had looked at the progress he had made and said, there's no way that he'd be ready by the 4 weeks anyways. Go ahead and put him on IR. What do we have next?
Another texter text in says, Dallas has already clinched a playoff berth. So do you think there's any chance of the Cowboys conceding tonight?
No, they're trying to win that division.
Exactly. They're trying to win a division. They need to win the last 2 games, and the Eagles lose, and they're in the playoffs. So there's no conceding on Dallas' side.
Where do you see the Cowboys in the NFC? I mean, I think they're a contender, but I wouldn't say that they're, even though they beat the Eagles last week, I wouldn't say they're on the Eagles level in my opinion.
No, of course not. They're not on the Eagles level. 4 turnovers, right, and 27 points by Gardner Minshew. They're not on the Eagles level. You see when Jalen Hurts is out there, you see how that team plays. It's a different team. I think Dallas is good in the playoffs as long as they don't play Philly or the 49ers.
Sean Texan says, TD, please explain why the Titans wouldn't keep number 17 as the practice squad quarterback in case he's ready before the AFC Championship.
I don't know. I honestly don't know why they wouldn't keep him on there, because it's not like there's a new roster spot that has to be filled or freed up or anything like that. So that is a question that I really cannot answer.
Another texter texts in and says, no, this game doesn't have any playoff implications, but what else does this game mean tonight for the Titans?
Well, I mean, it's an opportunity to get a win. Like, you prepare for X amount of days and you go out there, you want to win the game. So it's that. It's an opportunity to end the losing streak. What else does it mean? It's an opportunity to, put something positive on the field and roll that into next week. I mean, momentum is real. Just because you can't put a formula or algorithm on it, that doesn't make it fake. It's real. So that's something. It's an opportunity to roll momentum into the next week. So that's what it means. Every game you get 17 of these. Every game is special.
So I don't want to be this guy, but apparently everybody talks about this game doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily true. If the Titans win and Jacksonville loses to Houston, which is not very likely, but if the Titans win and Jacksonville loses to Houston, and the Titans and the Jags tie, no, then it still wouldn't matter. Jacksonville. No. The Titans would have a better record. The Titans would
win the division.
Yes, with a tie. If the Titans lose, let's say they both win, and so they're both even going into the last game, Jacksonville gets in with a tie, because Jacksonville has the head-to-head victory from playing here.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Titans win, so it doesn't necessarily completely mean nothing. And I know that people say, well, I mean, what is the likelihood they're going to tie? I just go back to last year's Chargers-Raiders game at the last game of the year, and if the Chargers had been complicit in tying, then they would have tied. And that, I don't think Mike Vrabel's worried about that, but does mean that. Like, that does matter. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it does.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely matters. It matters for sure. So, again, I don't think that for 1 second that these guys go out there and the game doesn't mean anything to them. It definitely means something to them. I mean, again, it goes back to the preparation and what you put in. I mean, you get 17 opportunities to do this. So, trust every chance they can, they want to go out there and win.
Another texter text in says, why did the Titans not protect Logan Woodside?
I mean, they would have had to put him on the active roster. You know, if a team signs him to the active roster, like, there's nothing you can do. It's the way it works. So it wasn't a matter of not protecting him. It was a matter of another team coming in, the Falcons in this case, getting him.
And then fans would have been annoyed with Logan Woodside being on the active roster.
They'd been mad, yeah.
Another texter says, TD, do you remember asking Todd Downing why he abandoned play action early in 2021? And what do you make of the fact that he still doesn't use it much when Ryan Tannehill averages 11 yards per game on play action?
Well, you know, that's something that I revisited with him, and he said that, it's the protection, right? You know, and having the time to do that. There's a lot of guys leaking through. The blocking up front. And play action typically, that gives you max protection. So, usually a good situation is coverage-wise. But, I mean, we talked about the left tackle situation. We talked about the left guard. And don't get it twisted, the right tackle has gotten beat plenty of times, too. So it's hard to work play action when those things are happening.
Another texter text in says, what value do you think Kevin Byard can bring in a trade?
It's crazy that we're looking at this, but I mean, yeah, I think he could bring some value. If a team is desperately in need of like veteran leadership, a guy that could, help turn the tide in the locker room. That's the value that he would bring.
That is a total teardown scenario, though. TD, we appreciate you as always. Thursday Night Football. We'll talk to you on the pregame show. Great stuff as always, and we look forward to your breakdowns after the game.
For sure. Appreciate you. You guys take care. Enjoy the game. We'll talk later.
Yep, TD joining us on the TD Power Hour presented by Craneworks and Rental Work. 615-737-1025. I'll get back into your phones. 615-737-1025. Plus, I am bummed. And I don't know why I'm bummed, but I am really, really, really bummed by something the Titans did. We'll get to that coming up. Again, we are live out here at Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. Caroline, tell us about the Caesars Sportsbook app.
Yep, it is time for the Caesars Sportsbook Report. Now, Caesars has tons of boosts and promos every single day, but your very first bet with the Caesars Sportsbook app, it's on Caesars, up to $1,250. Just sign up using the promo code RADIOFULL. One word, Radio Full, and then place your first bet. And if you win, that money is all yours. Go have fun with it. But if not, don't worry about it, because you'll get that stake back as a free bet. Thursday Night Football in Nashville tonight. And the Caesars Sportsbook app has an odds boost for Thursday Night Football. CeeDee Lamb over 5.5 receptions. CeeDee Lamb's longest reception over 24.5 yards. Michael Gallup over 2.5 receptions. And Dalton Schultz over 3.5 total receptions. Looking at this Titans team that's going out there tonight, I'm taking the over for every single prop bet for the Cowboys tonight. Open to new users in Tennessee who are 21 or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount returned as a credit. Must use within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Caesars Sportsbook. We are all Caesars.
Want a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Preds game?
Yes.
Tune in to Robbie and Rex Road every weekday Preds game day at 8:45 for Preds Pick to Click. Guess a goal scorer and win.
I will take Roman Yossi.
Matt Duchene.
Pick to Click is brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Visit tjandersonhomes.com to see why they are referred so often. And by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
Preds Pick to Click.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Hey, it's Jared. If you're listening to us on I-24 towards Murfreesboro or I-65 towards Spring Hill, make sure you check out 106.3 for another great way to hear Nashville's best sports talk.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
It's Family Leisure's half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dent, and discounted merchandise.
Enjoy the movie theater experience in the safety and comfort of your own home with theater seating from Family Leisure. 2-piece sets starting at only $6.99. 3-piece sets are only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Family Leisure has air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Family Leisure has 30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $7.99. Slate pool tables starting at just $14.99 installed.
Shovelboard tables from only $19.99.
Family Leisure is introducing our above ground pool sales now. 24-foot above ground pools start at only $29.99 installed.
That's Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
At both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
On Friday's edition of Chase, Willie, and D. Mace, Caroline Fenton is in for the suit. We react to the Titans and Cowboys game, and we'll have Ask D. Mace at 12:30 with Eddie George at 1 o'clock. Party starts at 10 here on 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Hey, Nashville, this is Sean Henry. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5, The Game.
I'm hoping the Titans can field a team. What happens when you didn't take care of your business on the road in Duval County, which happens to be Jacksonville? So for me, it's Skip. I'm hoping the Titans can field a team. Look at the guys that are out. Cole, linebacker, Cunningham, linebacker, Bud Dupree, Pretoria, he's out. Hooker, knee, the tackle is out. Jeffrey Simmons is out. Ryan Tannehill is out. Josh Thompson in a concussion. D'Amico Autry is doubtful. Fulton, doubtful. Derrick Henry, hip, doubtful. Can you even field a team? And then your quarterback, Malik Willis, Skip. The guy's failed to throw for 100 yards in all 3 of his starts. And what am I supposed to do with this? I feel bad for the coach because I like him. I think he's a tough, fiery guy. I think guys love playing for him. But at some point in time, you got to give me something to go fight with, Skip. I can't go to war with rocks, and everybody else got grenades and rocket launchers.
There you go. That was Shannon Sharp earlier today, and I don't disagree with anything Shannon said, but that's not why I'm bummed. I'm not bummed because the Titans are going to go out there with Josh Dobbs at quarterback and get beat by 45 points by the Cowboys, which is probably going to happen.
It's, more likely than not.
That's not why I'm bummed. I'm
You
actually
are bummed because of that, though, at least a little bit, right?
I mean, it takes away from what I Thursday, when I saw the schedule came out and I saw Thursday Night Football with the Cowboys, I was like, Thursday Night Football with the Cowboys, all right. And, I'm definitely bummed about the fact that the team stinks and that the game doesn't mean anything and that there's no hope and that they just lost to the Texans. Sure, but that's not – I knew that when I woke up this morning. And I'm happy that Josh Dobbs is starting because I think Malik Willis is terrible, and I think Dobbs will give them a better chance to beat Jacksonville. But the news that the Titans are putting Ryan Tannehill on IR bums me out. And – it's not like I didn't know when Ryan Tannehill had the tightrope surgery that there was no chance no matter what anybody reported, there was no chance that he was going to come back 20 days after having the tightrope surgery. No way, no how, that wasn't going to happen. But I just wondered, okay, can Josh Dobbs hand the ball off enough and the defense, if Autry comes back, can the defense hold enough against Jacksonville, who I still don't think is very good? Can that be enough to find a way to eke out a win? Sure. And then if you get Tannehill back for the playoffs, could you? And even though I know it's totally far-fetched, Like, I never make plans for the playoffs because of the chance that the Titans could be playing, and now I'm making active travel plans, like, during the playoffs because I know they're not going to be. It's just
exciting.
The idea of Ryan Tannehill being on IR, out for the season, no chance for a divisional round game, and pulling some kind of upset, it shouldn't bum me out because it kind of already knew this, but it bums me out. It bums me out.
I think that there was, as Cowboys fans walk into Sonny's Patio and Pub, I think that there was a sliver of hope that since Ryan Tannehill wasn't on IR, it was, okay, he can be back any minute. As soon as he's ready, as soon as he feels 100%, he can come back at any minute.
I know, but I'm not like one of these people that doesn't – like, I know what a tightrope surgery means for – you know, like, I know that doesn't mean he's coming back tonight. Like, I know when I hear that he has that.
But now we know for certain that he will not be back any sooner than the AFC Championship game.
And he's not coming back.
And it makes it for sure. And the Titans are playing in that.
I know, I'm bummed out.
I think it just makes it real. Like, you knew that he wasn't going to come back this week or next week or anytime in the regular season, but now it just makes it real.
Like, I knew this hellhole of a season was a hellhole of a season.
It really wasn't a hellhole of a season. It's been a hellhole of the past month.
You know what's crazy is that when they lost to Jacksonville, after they fired John Robinson, I said on the air, I was like, this season's over, folks. And, you know, people were like, oh, firing John Robinson, that didn't have anything to do with anything, and that doesn't matter, and you know, whatever. And even though I said it, that I knew the season was over, and I said that the season was over, and I felt that the season was over.
Did you really not believe it?
There was like a part of me that was kind of hopeful as a fan that they'd be able to get themselves, you know, out of this mess, and they'd find a way to beat the Chargers, and they'd find a way to make the playoffs, and at least make January interesting and fun for us. You know, you lose in the divisional round of the playoffs, you lose in the divisional round of the playoffs. Last year they lost in the divisional round of the playoffs. That same weekend, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers all lost. So it's not like losing in the divisional round of the playoffs means you suck, because that's not what that means.
It doesn't make me any less mad at Ryan Tannehill for throwing 3 interceptions and blowing that game.
No, that was bad.
That's still remains true.
I just, you know, it's like, God, what was such a fun season just went right down the toilet. And I am just freaking bummed out about the fact that a month ago, on a Thursday night, I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And it was like, wow, this season really has hope and promise. And they just beat the Packers, and they're right up there at the top of the AFC. And everything since then has been bad, 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 bad. Some of it's their own doing. Some of it's not. You know, Tannehill to IR, that's not the team's fault. But it's just like, man, what a crap hole of a season. What a Vince Young and the pads in the stands ruining the whole year kind of season.
Is it that bad?
This year? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Thursday Night Football on national TV against the Cowboys, and they're putting the C team out there.
Yeah.
They're not even putting the B team out there today. They're putting the C team. And it's like,
and I think
it's
that
so
too,
heartbreaking.
because so many of the moves that the Titans made of not playing Jeffrey Simmons, not playing Derrick Henry, was to ramp up for next week and to win that Jacksonville game. So let's say they do. Let's say, you know, Derrick Henry and Jeffrey Simmons just needed an extra week of rest. They'll get back out there. The Titans can win that game. They make the playoffs. I never really felt confident that the Titans could win a wild card game and advance the divisional round of the playoffs. Like, I understand the idea of anything can happen in the playoffs, but I really didn't think the Titans would be able to extend further than the wild card round.
See, here's what's crazy
but now
about that,
now it feels for sure.
Here's
like,
what's
even if they win
crazy.
next week, they're not going to make it to a divisional round.
Here's what's crazy, though, about what you just said about that wild card game. They just went on the road to the Chargers.
Yes.
And this was when Tannehill was healthy. They did not play well, in my opinion, in that Charger game. Like, I did not think that the Titans – I mean, I thought that the players played hard, and I thought that the team was focused, and I thought they, you know – but they made mistakes, and they certainly did not coach well against the Chargers.
No, but it was still a close game.
They lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
That is a playoff team. That is a wild card weekend playoff team. And that team would have had to come here. And instead it would have probably been the Ravens, and the Ravens stink too. And so now you're talking about the divisional round of the playoffs. And it's just like now You lose to the Texans with Malik Willis at quarterback in a game that is completely unwatchable. Now you're about to get slaughtered on national television against the Dallas Cowboys. Then you're probably going to get slaughtered again on national television against the Jags. If you don't, it'll be a close game. You'll lose. You'll still miss the playoffs, something like that. It's not like you're picking third overall, so you have the excitement of that to bank on. It's a whole bunch of nothing. And then, you're going to watch everybody else play in the playoffs, and you're going to watch A.J. Brown play for the Philadelphia Eagles and play well in the playoffs, and you're going to watch all these teams that, you either could have beaten this year like Kansas City or the Chargers, or teams that really at points in time weren't better than you this season. And it's frustrating as a fan. Like, this team, when they fired the general manager and they set all this in motion, this team did not suck. And now this team freaking sucks. This team just lost to the Texans. This team right now, what I saw now I think Dobbs is going to be an upgrade over Malik Willis. But I tell you, TD's not taking that news very well today.
He seemed disappointed.
He is not taking the news well about Malik Willis going to the bench. And I do think that'll make him a little bit better. But, I mean, I still am sitting here, like, thinking about the season that they had and what it is now turned into with 2 games left. I mean, I'm sitting here as a fan for this season just like, Lord, just end the season now. Just take me now. You know what I mean? Like, for this football season, it's just like.
But that's the tough thing about going into Week 18. Because over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about Week 18. Just got to win that game. But it still doesn't seem like there's very much hope.
And again, I woke up this morning thinking that if the Titans, I went on Robbie and Joe. I woke up, let people in a little bit. I woke up at about 6:50, and I went on with Robbie and Joe at 7. And I said on Robbie and Joe this morning that I think they're going to make the playoffs. Like, I woke up and I said, I think the Titans are going to make the playoffs.
So you think they're going to win next week?
And I said to them, if they get smart and they play Dobbs over Willis, then I think they'll beat the Jags. I can't tell you why. I just think they'll find a way to beat the Jags.
I think you feel that way because you've given up on Malik.
Well,
so if you've given up on Malik, then you have lost any hope that he can win you a game that you absolutely must have to win.
But now they've done that. Like, I should be through the moon that they did what I was like, if they do this, then I think they're going to beat Jacksonville and they're going to win the division. Then I should be through the moon. And I was happy when I saw it today. And then I hear Tannehill and Bud Dupree are back or they're on IR, and I'm like, well, I don't know why I'm bummed out about this Tannehill thing. It's not like it's shocking, but it's just.
But I think it makes it real.
Oh my God!
It makes it real.
What was at one point a legitimate season? I mean, this team did not stink this whole season, and it's just like, here we are, Thursday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys, and they're going to win by 900.
And also,
if they win by 800, I'll say it's a moral victory for the Titans.
Okay. Well, that's really nice and cheery. That's the more positive thing I've heard you say today.
So I went through last night after I got off the air. I was sitting there with a pad and a piece of paper, and I wrote down every position, quarterback, running back, left tackle, right tackle, all 11 spots. And I said, okay, who's starting tomorrow? And I wrote it down, and I came up with 5 NFL starters, like that other teams would put on their team starting. And I had Burks. I think another team, like other teams would start Burks.
Okonkwo.
No, he wouldn't start for another team.
Really?
He's got 26 catches.
Okay.
He doesn't even start for this team. So a team that has an actual tight end, no, he's a backup. Burks, Woods, Byard, Tart, and I think I counted Hooper. And I thought I was being generous with those 5.
Generous with who?
Well, Tart, Hooper, Woods.
Hooper would start on another team.
Would Woods start on another team right now?
Probably.
Would Tart start on another team right now?
Probably not.
Although I do like Tart. So I went with those 5. Tart, Byard, Hooper, Burks, Woods. That's it. 5 out of 22. Take a guy like Andrew Adams. I like Andrew Adams. But Andrew Adams wouldn't start on another team.
No.
They got him off a practice squad. Somebody tweeted me today, and they were like, well, what about Trey I'm like,
what about Trey Avery?
I'm like, Trey Avery, an undrafted rookie free agent, that is the definition of not an NFL starter. Definitely not an NFL starter. Monty Rice is not a starter in the NFL. I was like, they're going to go up on national TV against the Dallas Cowboys. And yet I woke up this morning knowing that, and I was fine with it. But then I see Tannehill on IR, and I'm just so bummed.
Well, and I think you said maybe not even an hour ago, you said you would feel confident that Tannehill would start in that wild card game if he could.
I thought there was a chance.
Yeah, and now there's no chance. Now that chance is gone.
Your phone's next. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025 live from Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. It is the I keep doing that. I keep almost saying it is the pregame show.
Almost.
Let me tell you something. Between this and doing the Sirius XM, I can't tell you how many times doing Sirius XM I almost said was Stillman & Company.
How many times have you accidentally given out 615-737-1025?
One time. It was like a Saturday, and the producer was like, there's a guy in New York, he's like, Jared, that 615-737-1025 he gave out.
Is he British?
Does that sound British?
That sounds incredibly British.
I could do the New York Jared.
Like Jared.
Jared.
Your phone number is not 615-737-1025, all right?
They don't talk like that. But
well, what are they? They're not British either.
I don't know what they are. Whatever. But I did that one time, and I was not happy with myself when I did that. 615-737-1025 is our phone number if you want to get in. Pre-game show starts at 4:30 right here at Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge at 1322 6th Avenue North in Germantown. Join me, Chris Sanders, D. Mace from 4:30 to 6:30 prior to the Titans and the Cowboys. And the pre-game show is brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Superbook Sports, and Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company.
Bowl season is here.
Keeps his feet out of a tackle, and it's a race now.
Catch all the action right here at 102.5, 106.3 The Game, and 94.9 The Fan.
Down the middle, right on the money, touchdown.
All the big moments of bowl season are presented by Boomba's Craft Pizza and Tap House, Pizza, Beer, Sports, headquartered in East Nashville, and by Superbook Sports.
My goodness, look out.
Bowl season is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. A very warm day ahead of us. High temperatures low 60s, fairly overcast, and the possibility of a few very light, isolated, short rain showers cannot be ruled out coming towards the afternoon.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Blood Assurance, this community's local blood centers, is hiring for several open positions in the Nashville area. Be a part of a company that helps save lives by providing the local hospitals with the much-needed life source of blood. They offer competitive pay, great benefits, paid time off, and retirement benefits. Blood Assurance has a family-friendly environment. Go to bloodassurance.org/careers. Again, that's bloodassurance.org/careers to apply.
Treat yourself to the gifts you really wanted at the Electronic Express Huge After Christmas Sale. Our convenient locations have great deals on all of your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, Apple, Sony, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. 4K TVs, computers, appliances, housewares, gaming, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 48 months free financing. Shop in-store or online and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Joe Rexler here letting you know now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, my personal sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up with the promo code Joe102. FanDuel, of course, has all your favorites, money line, point spread, player props, but you can combine them for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. If I was looking at Titans, Cowboys, I do like the Cowboys in this game. I think the Titans are just trying to get to the finale and see what kind of a team they can put together. I do think that I would still go, though, with a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. I mean, he's going to show up and play hard. Do whatever you want. Just do it on an app that's safe, secure, super easy to use. Sign up again. Promo code Joe102 for that no-sweat first bet. Promo code Joe102. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued with non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Hey, let's get brunch. How long is the wait?
Tired of the same old brunch spots? 2 words.
Bottomless Brunch. That's right, Almost Friday is the newest sporting club in downtown Nashville, and they're ready to help you elevate your weekend. All you can eat and drink while you watch the game, play flip cup, pong, or other games, and turn it up with their DJs. There's no other place in Nashville like it. If it's not Friday, it's Almost Friday. Reserve your table now at almostfridaynash.com. It's always Almost Friday at Almost Friday Sporting Club.
Robbie Stanley.
It really doesn't matter until the pads come on and you have to hit each other, you have to block.
Joe Rexrode.
Reliable, go out and make some plays for you. Solid player.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Let's start with Titans star running back Derrick Henry, who officially is listed as doubtful because of a hip issue and is not expected to play in this game against the Cowboys. My understanding is this is precautionary with Henry, who is one of many Titans starters who are not set to play in this game. He was able to practice in a limited capacity this week. Full expectation he will be out there in Week 18 for that AFC South title game against the Jaguars, which is great for the Titans, not so much for everybody who has him in a fantasy football league. For tonight, Hassan Haskins, the rookie fourth-round draft pick from Michigan, who has all of 11 career carries, is in line for a big role for Tennessee.
There you go, the C team. Hassan Haskins, not the starting running back. Derrick Henry, he's out.
And what a backhanded, sassy comment. Who has all of 11 career carries.
I mean, he has 11 career carries. So Hassan Haskins, he's in. So not the A-team running back, that's Derrick Henry. Not the B-team running back, that's Dontrell Hilliard, he's hurt. The C-team running back.
But are we surprised by that?
No, but it's just that's what
it is.
That's what's out there. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Michael has been waiting patiently and is up next. Thank you for calling. What you got, Michael?
Who drafted him?
Who drafted who?
Who drafted Hassan Haskins? All those guys, Malik Willis, all those guys you named that wouldn't be your starters on anybody else's team. That was John Robinson.
Well, I mean, I think it's more about all the guys that are hurt. Like the Titans roster does not have only 5 starters out of 22. Like Harold Landry's a legitimate starter in the NFL. Danico Autry's a legitimate starter in the NFL. He would start on another team.
Yes, he is.
Like, you know, now look, Aaron Brewer, that John Robinson put at left guard this year, he would not start on any other team in the NFL. You're right about that. But, again, like this team, I mean, I'm not putting that on John Robinson that they have nobody available to play tonight.
No, but what I'm saying, Jared, is look at all the failures that John Robinson has under his tenure. What we should be doing is applauding how well Vrabel's done with the garbage he's been given.
Well, I want you to think about it like this.
Given garbage.
John Robinson never had a losing season as general manager of the Titans. He took over a team that was the worst team in the NFL.
Because of Mike Vrabel.
What about the 2 seasons that Mike Vrabel wasn't the coach? Do those not count?
Well, no, we're not talking about. We're talking about now. We're talking about now. And see, you look at all the failures.
So we should applaud Mike Vrabel for what he did, but we don't have to be mad at Mike Vrabel for not winning the last 5 games because it's John Robinson's fault.
No, I'm not saying it's John Robinson's fault. What I'm saying is
that is exactly what you are saying.
No, I'm fully agreeing with you that there's been a ton of injuries. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is you said that since we fired John Robinson, this team is falling apart. It ain't falling apart because we fired the general manager. He's not tackling anybody. He's not missing blocks left and right. I mean, come on. That's not happening.
So here's where I will agree and disagree with you.
Losing 5 games has nothing to do with John Robinson.
So I disagree. Thank you for your call. I disagree. I think the Jacksonville game in which the Titans played like a team that was distracted and didn't have focus, fumbling the ball, missing interceptions, that fall right through their hands that are touchdowns for the other teams, blowing a lead early. I think that was absolutely the distracted game. I agree that I don't think it had anything to do with the last couple of games, but I do think it affected that Jacksonville game. If you'd won that Jacksonville game, you're division champions. So, I mean,
And
that's the hard part here is that, again, if you'd won that Jacksonville game, no matter what, Jacksonville would have been eliminated. They woke up that morning knowing that if they lost that game 3 weeks ago, they knew they were eliminated. If they had lost that game, and they didn't. And, I mean, I don't know if it would make much of a difference if Tannehill's out and Robinson's still the general manager and they, make the playoffs and lose in the first round. And I know nobody here cares about, getting to the playoffs anymore, apparently. But to sit there and act like, it's all John Robinson's fault that all these guys got hurt, but it shows how great Mike Vrabel is. That does not compute for me.
And we've gotten a lot of text today and in the past few days about, well, John Robinson, doesn't keep guys healthy. John Robinson can't, to the caller's point, isn't out there blocking. But I think that's a pretty short-sighted way of looking at how the Titans have imploded over the past 5 weeks.
Yeah. Austin is up next. Thank you for calling the program, and thank you for waiting. What's up, Austin?
Hey, I just wanted to call, and I wanted to get more clarity on about the only 5 starters. And I think you just cleared up some of it with Carol Landry and other things. But what happened all of a sudden where what did I miss when Malik Willis was not even why is he not started? And that's just one part of it. My other response was with the John Robinson thing, it wasn't that bad. I think just some decisions didn't turn out as good as they could have with John Robinson.
Yeah, I'm going to let you go because your phone, I can barely hear you. But let me say this on the Malik front. If you don't understand why Malik's not starting tonight, it's because you didn't watch last week's game. I mean, that's my take on the Malik thing, is the last week's game. Now, I think he's also said in there, and honestly, it could be that it's loud here.
It is very loud here.
Out here at Sonny's, that I couldn't totally hear him. So if it was not his phone, then I apologize. But I think I'm being generous when I say that they have 5 starters. Because some people were like, well, what about Roger McCreary? You don't think Roger McCreary's a starter? I go, I think he might be a starting nickel. Maybe. I do not think he's a starting outside corner. And I think you see that every time he goes up against legitimate starting receivers, and they just outmuscle him every time and go up and get the ball. Or he gets beat by Amari Rodgers, who's terrible, down the sidelines against the Texans. I mean, I don't think Andrew Adams is a starter in the league. I don't think Monty Rice or Jack Gibbons are starters. I don't think DeMarcus Walker is a starter in the NFL. I don't think that McCreary's a starter in the NFL. I don't think Trey Avery is a starter in the NFL. I don't think that anybody on the offensive line, Daly, Brewer, Levin, Jordan Roos, LaRaven Clark, I don't think any of those guys are starters.
The line is comprised of strictly practice squad players.
Haskins is not a starter. Dobbs is not a starter. Hooper's kind of a starter. I mean, I think Woods and Burks would start somewhere else. So that's Woods, Burks, Hooper.
Kevin Byard.
And T.R. Tart. I mean, I don't think any of those guys start on good teams. And that's who's out there tonight. Let's go to Ben, who's up next. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, what's up, Jared? First time, long time.
Cool.
Hey, I'm kind of with you. Like, I thought it was an awful idea to fire J. Rob in the middle of the year. But like the more I hear you talk about, man, we don't have starting caliber NFL players. Like, we have the worst quarterback in the NFL. I mean, do you agree that it would have been warranted after the year? Like, with your assessment of our roster right now?
I don't think it would be.
But I would have understood it.
It's a lot easier
more after the season than in the middle of the season.
Yeah, good call, Ben. My thing here with the Robinson front, like, every team goes through this at some point. You're going to have
roster turnover,
and it's not even the turnover. It's the injuries. It's the fact that some guys moved on and some draft picks didn't hit. I mean, the Titans went to the Super Bowl in '99. They were the number 1 team in the league in 2000. They were 7-9 in 2001, and then they got right back on the train the next year, and they were in the AFC Championship game. And I mean, the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, and then they were 6-10. And then their NFC Championship game, and they look like they're going right back deep into the playoffs this year. I mean, you're not the only team that's ever gotten hurt. And that, I think, bothers me, is that people act like that doesn't happen in the league. That they think like that every year, if you're good, you go to the playoffs every single year. And that happened for one team, and it was the Patriots. And it was because the one guy who can't get hurt didn't get hurt. And the one year he did get hurt was the one year that they didn't go to the playoffs. But it's not like you just turn around and fire everybody. And so I felt like Robinson made a bunch of mistakes, but I don't feel like, what he did, there was just too much winning. Mm-hmm. And this year there was going to be winning. And even if you just win the division,
were winning.
That is still winning. And so I thought it was arrogant. And I think it's arrogant to think that you can do so much better than a general manager who had the same winning percentage as Bill Walsh with the San Francisco 49ers, who took over this team when they were the worst team in the league. I just think it's arrogant. 615-737-1025. Josh Dobbs is in for the Titans. And what this really means for Malik Willis, we'll get to that coming up next. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You watch the game.
Sliding across, making the stop, UC Cerro.
We talk the game.
That wraparound goal by Sanford was a beauty. Tanner Janot, Ryan Johansson gets on the board.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Teron Davenport here for Superbook Sports. Can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. No fancy computer algorithms. No guys across the pond setting lines for American sports. Just the best team of odds makers in the business behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, Superbook features some of the best odds boosts and promo bets anywhere. So download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Want to kick off the new year without any credit card debt? If that sounds good to you, you can do it with Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit. Wipe out all those credit card bills right now. Hey, Willie Donick here. Rates are down, and it's a great move to get on more solid financial footing for the new year. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a portion of the equity you have and enjoy a rate that's a whole lot less than what the banks charge on credit cards. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity credit line, you can close in 7 to 10 days. You can access up to 95% of your home's equity. Use that money to pay off those high-interest credit card loans of any type. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. Consolidate everything into one easy payment. Even if you did a whole total refi last year, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program and keep your main loan intact. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pregame, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
A gunny performance. Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead. The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
We're one play away from an injury.
He knows this. He's a study of the game.
And we have strong opinions.
He's been awful. I don't think they were trying, and that's why I feel the way I feel.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman and Caroline Fenton. Presented by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, live from Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge out here in Germantown. Titans and Cowboys, Thursday night football, and again, the pregame show starts in 30 minutes. But the news of the day, Josh Dobbs will make his first NFL start, the former Tennessee Volunteer, and Malik Willis to the bench. And when I heard this news, as I walked out of Orange Theory today, and I heard the news that Josh Dobbs was starting for Malik Willis, I thought, hallelujah, that the Tennessee Titans have realized what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, which is that Malik Willis stinks and that they have no chance to win. And as I said on Monday, if I was the Titans, I'd be getting Dobbs ready to start against Jacksonville to get you in the playoffs because Malik Willis gives you no chance to win. But now we're starting to hear another theory that may have come about And Ed Werder tweeted this out. Now, again, Ed's a Cowboy guy, not a Titan guy. But Ed Werder tweeted this out that he thinks the Titans are, quote-unquote, resting Malik Willis tonight. So that the line is so bad. Daly and Aaron Brewer, who's undersized. By the way, Taylor Lewan said on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Brewer weighs 276 pounds. So that 290 guy,
we knew that wasn't true.
No.
But also, what does Taylor Lewan know?
Well, but think about it. He weighs in with the guy.
I guess that's true. Why would he say that?
I don't think that he thought anybody cared.
Well, Taylor, we do.
So, Dennis Daly, 276-pound Aaron Brewer, Corey Levin, Jordan Roos, which Jordan Roos does deserve credit because he literally carried Malik Willis into the end zone for that touchdown last week, and LaRaven Clark at right tackle, who I think is actually better than Petit Ferrer anyways. That's the offensive line. So the idea is everything matters week 18 for Jacksonville. They're not playing Malik tonight because they don't want Malik to get hurt against Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence in the Dallas Cowboys. They want to make sure Malik is healthy in order to be able to go week 18 against the Jags. Do you buy that theory?
I understand the thought process behind the theory, but I do not buy it. Because I don't think that Malik Willis is in a place right now where he can afford to just sit out from very valuable reps. He's a rookie. He's a backup quarterback.
But Ed Werder said it.
So?
I don't know.
Do you believe everything that Adam Schefter says?
No, but the difference is Ed Werder.
They work for the same network.
Ed Werder was the one that had the Vrabel quote a couple weeks ago when they didn't throw the ball at all, where he was like, who are we going to throw it to? And everybody was like, oh, that's a knock at the A.J. Brown trade or whatever.
Right.
So, and Werder's been around for a while.
I'm not discounting Ed Werder's credibility in the slightest. I respect him very much as a journalist. But, I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe that's exactly what the Titans are doing. But I just don't think it's very smart to do that, considering how Malik Willis has such very, very little NFL experience. And it all comes down to next week.
And I keep thinking about, too, if you want to protect Malik Willis, why do you not want to protect Kevin Byard? Why would you play Kevin Byard in this game, or why would you play Traylon Burks in this game if you're worried about protecting people? Now, they don't have to play behind the line, and they don't have Micah Parsons coming at them, but I have a hard time.
The risk is still there, no matter what, in any game.
Oh, sure, especially for Burks. The guy's made of glass.
Right.
So, what do we think? Ian, do we think benching or resting for Malik?
I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. Yeah, I was going through all the different scenarios in my head. Like, do you want to see what Dobbs has? Are you trying to win? Are you just moving on? I mean, I guess I'm leaning towards Werder and just resting him for the final week 18. But I don't know. I just worry, are you really bringing Dobbs in to win this game, or are you setting this up for more week 18, right? Regardless of what's going on here. This move is not about this game. This move is about week 18, I would think.
So
I think everything's about week 18 at this point.
The Ed Werder tweet, I'm not going to say report because I don't think this is a report. The Ed Werder tweet, the decision with Tannehill to place him on IR explains the move to Josh Dobbs starting tonight. Mike Vrabel presumably protecting rookie Malik Willis for next week at Jacksonville. If they are protecting Malik Willis for the Jacksonville game, I will be vehemently depressed.
And is that a presumably wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that's what they're doing? Or is that a presumably this is just Ed Werder's interpretation of the move?
I think it's Ed Werder's interpretation of the move.
But that's because you don't want it to be true.
No, I think it's Ed Werder's. I think it's his interpretation of the move because I don't think Ed Werder is looking I don't think he's scooping for Titan stuff.
No.
I don't think that he let me work my sources to figure out why they're taking out the terrible quarterback and starting the other terrible quarterback. You know what I mean?
I don't think you really need to work sources for that, though.
I mean, again, the Titans have not had common sense for years. The reason the Titans are in the mess they're in right now is because somewhere along the lines they thought they could outthink the system. And they thought everybody else was stupid for not trading a premium pick and taking on that huge salary from Julio Jones, even though the rest of the league was like, you're going to take that hamstring? Do you really think that's a good idea? Oh, no. Trust us on this one. We know because we drafted Jeffrey Simmons. He had a torn ACL. And, trust me, we know. And so the Titans have lost common sense, and it's really across the board. It's not just Robinson with some of the picks and the trades. It's the owner firing him in the middle of the season the week before the Jacksonville game. It's the coaching staff for not having a better backup quarterback. It's the coaching staff for not giving Derrick Henry the ball on 3rd and 2, for bringing back Todd Downing. It's all those things where they lack total common sense. To me, the move to Dobbs, I think it's great because you're going to get a game of experience for Dobbs behind this line and with these receivers when you can't practice. So this is really like a practice game for Josh Dobbs, and then you're going to play Josh Dobbs. But then if it's really this is just, we got to fulfill the game, and then once this is over, Malik's going to start next week, then I'm like,
it's hard to tell if it's more evaluation about what you know about Dobbs or if is it more about getting him more comfortable with the offense in a legit position where he can build upon for the following week. I don't know.
Why would they care about the evaluation of Josh Dobbs? If that's what it is, let's just go out there and see what we've got in Josh Dobbs. Why?
Yeah, isn't the evaluation he stinks?
Or he's a practice squad quarterback that you picked up last week.
He's like a backup-ish guy.
Well, just trying to figure out who gives you a better chance to win in Week 18.
That's a fair point.
Dobbs or Willis.
But
that's what you're trying to evaluate.
Volumes about Malik Willis, about how they feel about Malik Willis. If you have to evaluate Josh Dobbs to see if he gives you a better opportunity to win in Week 18, doesn't that show us what the Titans feel about Malik Willis?
Isn't it what they should feel about Malik Willis?
Do you think Vrabel was put off by those post-game comments from Willis about how he didn't really care if they won or lost?
Yes.
Oh, I bet Vrabel was pissed about that.
They pissed me off.
Oh, I bet Vrabel was furious. You know what? It's funny you say that because we've talked about those comments, but we haven't thought, how do you think the coaching staff felt about those comments? About, hey, I'm just as happy if we had won or lost. But I also don't think it's because of what Willis said that he's not starting. I think he's not starting because he freaking stinks. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they said, you know what, he stinks, let's not start him. Why? Because he stinks. And now everybody's got these, cockamamie theories about why he's not starting. I felt much better when I thought the reason he wasn't starting was because he's terrible. And it's like, oh, no. That's not why. It's like, oh, okay. We have other theories. 615-737-1025. Let's knock out some of these phones before the pregame show. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. What do we have?
Gator Tim texts in says, the Titans are clearly seeing if Dobbs gives them a better chance to win against Jacksonville. They have no confidence in Willis.
See, I don't know about you guys. If I'm calling the shots, and I should get a vote, but apparently I don't.
Why should you get a vote?
Because I've been more right than they have about stuff.
Oh, boy.
So, if I'm calling the shots, Dobbs is starting this week, and Dobbs is starting next week. End of story.
What would Josh Dobbs have to do tonight to change your mind?
I don't think it's possible.
Oh, Malik isn't that bad.
I think Malik's the worst quarterback I shouldn't say I've ever seen. I think Malik Willis is the worst quarterback I have ever seen start multiple games.
There is a possibility that Josh Dobbs could be worse.
The only quarterback who since the Titans moved from Houston, so not even when they were the Titans, because this was the Oilers in '98, the only quarterback, and Malik technically doesn't qualify for this because he hasn't thrown enough passes, the only quarterback whose rating is as bad as Malik Willis's is Ryan Leaf at 39. Malik's quarterback rating is 42. And Malik might, if he had played tonight, that rating might have gone beneath 39. It might have been worse than Ryan Leaf. And I actually did see Ryan Leaf play a game, and he beat the Oilers. And I have never let anybody connected with that team forget it, that was the only Oiler game I went to at Vanderbilt. And I told my dad, I'm never coming back. And then the next year they got good. I went to the first game. They beat the Bengals by a point on a field goal at the end. They crushed expansion Cleveland. I was the biggest Titan fan you'd ever seen at 10 years old.
Per Paul Kaharski, sitting Malik Willis tonight is in no way about protecting him for next week.
Yes!
To be clear, this is a report, not an assessment. Malik Willis is being benched tonight.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Yeah!
All right. Poor kid. I'm just sitting here yelling and screaming yes that they're benching him.
No. Don't walk
Poor
back
kid.
now. Don't feel bad for him now.
Poor guy.
You just called him the worst quarterback that you have ever seen.
That has started multiple games in the NFL, and I stand by that. I'm not. My happiness of this is not changing. That is staying the same. I am still happy. But I mean, I'm saying you're guessing that they're
still kind of wild that they went into the season thinking the Malik was going to be legit backup.
Do you know
it's
what's
so not fair to him.
That's where, when I talk about common sense, like, you went to training camp.
Yes, I did see him.
Common sense that he should not have been the backup.
Correct, 100%.
How many times did we have the discussion about what if Tannehill rolls an ankle and now Malik has to go in, and they were like, no, we got it.
And how many times have we said we just hope and pray that nothing happens to Tannehill because Malik Willis has no business being on an NFL football field?
Wow. Boy, I tell you, Malik benched, according to Paul Kaharski, which is what I thought earlier today when I saw that. And then Ed Werder and everybody else started talking about these cockamamie theories. I mean, to me, that means that I think they're done with Malik. That if,
But they'll tell him it's for the season.
Oh, no. They'll tell him. They'll be like, hey, like everybody around here has to get better, and we believe in you, and we want to see you, whatever. But this is Zach Mettenberger. They're getting another guy in here, and he's out of here. And we'll talk about him the same way we talk about Zach Mettenberger, which is like, man, remember Zach Mettenberger? Mm-hmm. And by the way, the stats between Zach Mettenberger and Malik Willis,
not that different?
Not even close.
Zach Mettenberger was way better?
Infinitely better.
Oh, man.
And Zach Mettenberger was terrible.
Oh, man.
All right, we're going to pick this game and the other games because it's just so depressing. We'll do that coming up next. Do either of us have the Titans winning?
No. We
don't know that. Maybe I'll pick them. We'll see. Six Pack Picks is next. Stillman and Company live from Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. Pregame show starts at 4:30, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 2:45.
Sanders for the touchdown, 48 yards.
Former NFL wide receiver Chris Sanders joins Stillman and Company to give his thoughts on all things Titans and NFL. Fueled by Parman Energy, now hiring fuel drivers. Apply now at ParmanEnergy.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with three-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
When it comes to procuring my adult beverages for the big games, I saddle up and head to Red Spirits and Wine. Red's Titanic selection of beer, wine, distilled spirits, and cigars is second to none. And Red's Cracker Jack crew always delivers a winning combination of service and value. There's no two ways about it. Red is top of the range. Open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South in Bellevue. And check us out at redspirits.com.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
All of us who work for Cromwell Media, the owner of this radio station, take a great deal of pride in our work. We honor each other for making a difference on our team and in our community. This month, we're congratulating Austin Fullwider, who handles our commercial logs for 6 years of service, and Sean Fort, our Director of Sales, along with David Janes, one of our part-time producers on 102.5, 106.3 The Game, are each celebrating 2-year anniversaries. Want to be part of what we do? Contact us at together@cromwellmedia.com and let's have a conversation.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Sounds like this has been a game-changing day for all of us.
Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
All right, let's get right into it. Six-pack picks. Let's just pick them. since we're only going to be on the air for an hour tomorrow anyways before the Preds game for a Titans Monday Fireball Hot Take Friday. So let's get right in. Let's pick them all, including the Titans and the Cowboys. And again, the pregame show starts in about 15 minutes from Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. Ian, how'd we do last week?
Last week, Jared, 3-3.
That's a good week for me.
Not bad.
Season record is now at 44, 58, and 3.
That's so bad.
Not good.
Caroline, one of your bad weeks last week.
Good.
1-5. So I brought your record down to 500 on the season. 51, 51, and 3.
Still better than Jared.
That's a lot better than Jared. Let's go. Right to it.
All right, let's start noon. CBS. We will go Dolphins. Nope, Tua at the Patriots. Over-under is 41. Patriots -2.5.
I'll pick who goes first. I'll pick me. I'll take the Dolphins. I think that Tua and Bridgewater, the drop's not that big, and I think that those receivers are too much. Plus, I think the Patriots stink. So I will go with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'll go with the Dolphins too. It's that team's not run by Tua. That team is run by everybody else offensively. I'll take the Dolphins to cover.
Okay, heading over to Fox for another noon matchup here. The Panthers going to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks.
Sneaky good game.
Little divisional opportunity here. Over-under's pretty low, 40.5. Tampa -3.
I'll take Tampa. I don't think that Tampa Bay is a good team by any stretch of the imagination, but they need to win this game to win the division. So I think that Tom Brady's going to do Tom Brady things. I'll take the Bucks.
I'll take the Buccaneers too. I think the officials bear watching in this game. A Buccaneer win almost ensures a Buccaneers-Cowboys playoff game.
Oh.
And I know who the NFL and CBS would like to put in that primetime window slot with that Nickelodeon game on Sunday next week.
Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Yeah, they want the Panthers. I think we know what they want, so keep your eyes on the referees on Sunday.
All right, back over to CBS for the afternoon action here. Another interesting game with the Packers trying to make a late season run. 3:25 CBS, Vikings at the Packers. Over-under 48, Green Bay -3.5.
I think the Vikings are going to give the Packers a little bit of, hey, like we're actually kind of good. I think the Vikings are going to win. I think they're going to play their hardest because they don't want to have to play the Packers in the playoffs. I'll take Minnesota.
Why are the Packers favored in this game?
Because
is there something that I don't know?
Dome team going on the road to Lambeau Field, and Green Bay's playing well.
I'll take Green Bay.
You had no take on that game.
Nope, I'm just taking Green Bay. Yeah, I have no take. No thoughts.
All right, the Sunday night football game this week. Usually a good game, even though these teams are kind of struggling right now. 7:20 NBC Sunday night football. Steelers at the Ravens. Probably no Lamar Jackson. Still has not practiced. Over under 35, which is low. Baltimore -2.5.
I'll take Baltimore. Even with no Lamar Jackson, I just do not believe in the Steelers. I think the Steelers are just such a crummy team. I'll take the Ravens.
The Steelers-Ravens rivalry, one team could be 16-0, the other team could be 0-16, and you're going to get a close game. I really liked Kenny Pickett at the end of the game Saturday against the Raiders. I'll take the Steelers.
Uh-oh, I don't have my Monday Night Football music handy.
Yeah,
hold on, I know. I messed it up. Let me get it one quick. 7:30.
Jared, you do it yourself.
ESPN. Monday Night Football. Bummer, because this is a good game. Bills at the Bengals. Over under
this is a goodie.
49.5. Pretty high as you would expect. Buffalo -1.
Let me state for the record, by the way, that I am disappointed that Ian messed up the music, but more importantly, that they flexed this game, the Ravens, Steelers, and not the Buccaneers and the Panthers. Buccaneers,
Nobody
Panthers.
cares about the Bucks and Panthers. There it is.
It's Tom Brady.
I know it's Tom Brady.
Making
but
the
nobody cares about
playoffs.
the Panthers.
You don't watch Kenny Pickett. People don't care about the
it's
Ravens.
the Bills and the Bengals.
No, I'm talking about the Sunday night game.
Oh.
Not the Monday night game. That this one, Bengals. I think the Bengals are too tough for the Bills. I think the Bengals are a bad matchup for the Bills. I'm taking the Bengals. I've been saying Bengals about this game for a while. I think the Bengals are a matchup Buffalo does not want in the playoffs. Give me the Bengals.
I'm going to take the Bengals, too. This feels like the kind of game that Joe Burrow just balls out. I do think it's going to be a very close game because I think the Bengals are able to win those close games, and they're able to keep those games close. But I'll take the Bengals to win this one.
Okay, hold on one second. I gotta get my Amazon music.
Ian. Man, I was sitting over here. Ian gets a promotion, and now he goes right down the crapper. He's like one of these players on the Predators that we get mad at. They sign their contract, and then all of a sudden they're not the same player anymore. Ian gets promoted. And
don't you dare Philip Forsberg, Ian.
That's it, yeah. Ryan Johansson over here.
Okay, so tonight, 7:15. Thursday Night Football. Amazon. Locally, I believe CBS.
Correct.
Cowboys at the Titans. We've heard all the injuries. Over under, low as we would expect. Probably all for the Cowboys. 40.5. Dallas is minus 13.5.
I'll take the Titans. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I mean, I think this is the easiest game to pick all week. The Titans have absolutely nobody. The Cowboys are going to roll. If the spread was Cowboys minus 25, I'd probably take Cowboys minus 25. Give me the Cowboys.
I will take the Cowboys as well. I'm going to go with the Cowboys 31-10. So it's not going to be as bad as it possibly could be, but 31-10 is not pretty.
But 10 is generous.
Josh Dobbs.
Astro Dobbs.
I think it's going to be better than it has been with Malik. I think we will walk out of this tonight saying that it looks better than it does with Malik. Those are six-pack picks. Again, we're live at Sonny's Patio Pub and Refuge. The pregame show's coming up next. The news today around here, though, was that Caroline Fenton will be departing our show, technically starting Monday, but really starting right now because tomorrow she'll be filling in on the midday show. And she's going to be doing the midday show from 9 to 12. No,
11 to 2.
11 to 2 every day. Only 3 hours, but, it is what it is.
Well,
I just love saying that.
I know you do.
And I'll never stop saying that.
This is a step up for me.
It is very much a step up. And, I don't want to say something that sounds like I'm talking about myself in this. But when we hired Caroline, I basically made the promise that, I really need 2 years. And whatever happens with the 2 years, once that happens, it happens. And, I don't know if that means you go somewhere else or that means that you get promoted on the station. And, now you're finishing up your second football season. You've done 2 hockey seasons with us. And I'm really, really proud of you. And I think the thing that I would say the most was that as I thought about this, what happens here on this show, it's going to be the same as it always has been. And Ian and I aren't going anywhere. And, we've been doing this show. We did it with Floyd in its first iteration. And then, we did it by ourselves for a bunch of months. And then Caroline showed up. And it was a different show. The show that we did was a different show than the Jared and the GM program. And then when Caroline showed up, it became a different show. And the thing I've learned in this industry is that whatever kind of show you start off doing or that people say, okay, this is the show that we want to have, I have never been able to predict what it's going to be like. I have never been able to say, okay, this is what this show is going to become. And I didn't know what this show was going to become. I didn't think about it, because I know that those things the identities form themselves. And I will say that the show that we've had for about the last year, I would put up with any show in the country and say that I think that this show is one of the best shows in America. And I think the reason that it's that way is because the three of us on it every single day really did what was best for the show and what was best for each other. And I think that's kind of how we've always felt, whether it's on the show or off the show. I read an article a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago or something, a sit down with Mike Golick. And he talked about his relationship with Mike Greenberg. And basically Golick said that they were just like coworkers and they weren't really friends and they weren't really. And I remember almost feeling guilty when I read that because I thought to myself, I've only been doing this show with Caroline for 8 months. And I don't feel that way about Caroline. Where Mike Golick, who did it with Mike Greenberg for 20 years, is we just did the show together. Like, that was it. And I'm like, I don't feel that way. And I do feel like we all became really great friends. And I think that played through the radio. I think sometimes when people are on the radio and they're forced together, it sounds forced. It sounds like you can tell those people, I mean, like, yeah, they do a show together, but they don't really want to be together.
Right.
And I never felt that about us. And I'm going to miss that a lot. And I'm really happy for you. And I'm not worried about the future of our program, but I think I'm going to miss that. The fact that we became, in my opinion, one of the best shows in America. And whatever happens next, like, it's not going to be the same show no matter what. And that's hard for me, but I also accept it, and it's like a bittersweet thing to know that something good is happening to you. So I'm really, really happy for you, and I'm really thankful for the work that you put in on this program, but more so just for the fact that you were there for both of us. You were there for us when Floyd died. You were there for us, when Ian's second child was born. We really did this as a team, and even though you're not really going far, I'm certainly
just a couple hours away.
I'm going to miss the team element of that, and I'm going to miss you showing up every day, and I'm going to miss our relationship off the air as much as I will miss it on the air. And I think you're a really great person, and I hope that comes through on the air more than anything else. Is that having people like you in your life. Or I should say having somebody like you in my life, it for me makes coming to work better. And I'm going to miss that. So I'm happy for you. And, we'll be listening to your takes, and then we'll be blowing them up like we always do.
As you should.
But again, what I currently think is one of the best radio programs in the country. And, I don't know where that's going to rank or whatever. I think it's all bullcrap anyways. I mean, what we did, I'm really proud of. And that wasn't a what I did. To me, this is a what we all did. And, it's just like what me, Ian, and Floyd did. And, that show's over. And now this show's over. So we loved you.
Love you.
We're going to miss you. All right, pregame show starts next right here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Again, Caroline, I normally would be like, Caroline, any words? But she'll have plenty of them tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And then after that, from 11 to 2, because it's only going to be 3 hours.
Yep, Yep,
and
knew
not
that was
4
coming.
hours. And so it's a pregame show starts next.